Hi, my name is Ryan Rusted, Chief Lending Officer with United Community Bank. I'm just excited we've been partnering with businesses for over 100 years. Come and see why so many of your friends and neighbors have put their trust in United Community Bank. Stop in and see us in Perham, Frazee, and Dent, or you can visit us online at ucbankmn.com. We're excited for you to be part of our community, United Community Bank.
United Community Bank.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rusted, Chief Lending Officer with United Community Bank. I'm just excited we've been partnering with businesses for over 100 years. Come and see why so many of your friends and neighbors have put their trust in United Community Bank. Stop in and see us in Perham, Frazee, and Dent, or you can visit us online at ucbankmn.com. We're excited for you to be part of our community, United Community Bank.
United Community Bank.
Magnitude Sports has delivered over 1,000 broadcasts capturing all fourth quarter comebacks, walk-off home runs, buzzer beaters, 62-point volleyball sets, and double overtime victories. The excitement is on Magnitude Sports. Over 150 teams from 5 states and 2 countries have been featured on Magnitude Sports at both the varsity and sub-varsity levels. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and select your alert preference so you never have to miss that big moment from your favorite area sports team. Find us on Facebook and Twitter too. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
causing us saying that we're not on. We will do our best to get back on the air as we go. So I got trusty Jason. Luckily he's here. Trying to help me out get that back on. So we're going to head to, I'm just going to pretend like we're still going. If we're on the air, great. And if we're not, you can pretend you're listening to me. So we're at 132. Gareth Covington, a junior who is 5-3 on the season. And this is, I believe, is Connor Wakefield, who is also a junior, 7-0 on the season and rated 6th in the state. So Gareth has kind of had his fill this year of wrestlers that are really, really, really good. And here Gareth goes, and he gets caught, and this is not a good position. He's really stretching that arm out, stretching that head, kind of that guillotine type position that we saw last week. And there's a quick fall at 57 seconds by Wakefield, who is, again, like I said, was rated 6th in the state, 7-0 and a junior. So well-built young man, and that puts the team score, the Thunderhawks 15 and the Yellow Jackets 12, heading into 138. We're back on with sound, Jason.
I believe we got it. I'd like to thank Mike for helping us out on that one.
Hey, Mike, we appreciate it. So if you missed it, Jason and I have been talking for the last hour, not knowing that we weren't on the air, which is something we should learn how to check. I'm going to try to get you caught up here a little bit with what you might have saw but not heard. So we are currently at the 138-pound match, and I believe, thanks, Leighton. Leighton just told me the sound's coming through, so appreciate that. We're at Carson Byer, who's 1-7 on the season, a freshman, and I believe this is Phil Keenan, a junior, 7-1 on the season. So, and a takedown by Keenan with a minute 15 remaining in the clock. So this might be that crucial point where between Byer and McCleary, we're going to need to get some points going on the scoreboard for the Yellow Jackets. So let me recap where we were and what you've seen. It was pin, 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 and it was like a seesaw. So Mickelson came out with a pin. Ramos got pinned. Cruzel with a cradle and a pin. Felt just went down in defeat. 7-1, did a great job of staying out of a major. So now, and Covington got pinned. So that leaves us at a score of Thunderhawks 15, Yellow Jackets 12. And in this one, Byers down 2-0 to Phil Keenan, a junior who's 7-1. So, and looks like he's got a good ride on here with about 20 seconds to go, trying to pull that arm out and maybe get some back points. And amazingly enough, I should have known something was wrong. I couldn't hear Jason in my ear, and now all of a sudden I can hear when his mic moves. So we're glad to be back with you. 5 seconds on the clock. 2-0 is what it looks like it's going to go into the second period. So nice job by Byer staying off his back. It looks like we've got maybe a little injury here. So while we do that, maybe we'll take a 30-second timeout.
Well, welcome back here at the High. We got an injury on the mat. Still, we'll talk here a little bit. Grand Rapids off to a strong start here with the 15-12 lead coming into 138. It looks like we're getting right back to action possibly here shortly.
Right, Byer looked like a little bit of a thigh injury type area. They were running out of injury time. He looks like he's kind of shook it off and back in it. So we're at the second period. Byers down 2-0. It looked like to me, we were just talking with some guys up here in this. I believe this is Phil Keenan, and he chose both up. So again, one of the things that I've noticed out of the Grand Rapids wrestlers is they really feel comfortable on their feet, which tends to lead me to believe, and I'm not the best expert on, well, put in quotes, expert of wrestling, but it believes to me that they're real confident in their offense. And as we speak, there's a takedown. So 1:20 to go, and it looks like Keenan's up 4-0. And the team score again is in favor of the Thunderhawks. So this is kind of a key part to the match, I would guess, as we're in a tight match, and Perham's in a place where they have some kids coming, but they can't afford to give up too many bonus points.
Yeah, we've definitely hit on that throughout our broadcasts. Those bonus points are keys, and when they happen to give those up, and that can allow the Thunderhawk team to potentially stretch out that lead here against Perham.
Right. We got 45 seconds left, and Keenan's definitely working on this cradle. He's been going cross-face cradle, and there he goes. He pulls him back, and referee Geisers didn't take long. He went right in from the count back points to the pinfall, and Byer did a good job of trying to fight it off, but definitely favoring that leg as he walks off the mat. So we'll see what that leads to for Byer for the rest of the night as you start thinking about they're not done yet tonight. They wrestle one, they come back after Grand Rapids and Frazee. So
we have a forfeit at 1:45, so that'll extend the Thunderhawk lead even more to 27-12 here now.
And that was, I believe, Dusty Wilkie that gets the forfeit. So I believe Dusty Wilkie was rated 9th in the state, and one that I was looking for, and we were looking for that Fudge Wilkie matchup. Well, that's not going to happen tonight. So we roll into 152, and pretty soon, boom, boom, a pin and a forfeit, and we're down 27-12. And here is Caden Lehman, who's 7-0, a junior, and he goes right in and has Jacob McCleary, a sophomore, on his back. So we got back points, and they're looking for 6 more here, which would really spread the score out before Perham can even kind of get to that middle of the lineup that's been so good for them lately. 1:20 to go, so a long time for Jacob McCleary to be hanging on there. So Caden Lehman, boy, you look at this lineup for the Thunderhawks, and you go from Moreland was 8-0, Wakefield was 7-0, Keenan 7-1, Zach Wilkie 6-1, Dusty Wilkie 8-0, Caden Lehman 7-0, and you start to see why they're 8-0 to start the season. There's another fall in a minute one, another fall for a minute one, and that was Caden Lehman at 152. So it's now 33-12. One of the things that you say is sometimes, like in baseball, you need a stopper. Well, here should be hopefully the Yellow Jacket stopper, and in their leader and captain Jack Fudge comes out to wrestle.
Man, that's the guy you want to count on. Like you said, the momentum here is definitely on the side of the Thunderhawks, and you get a guy like Jack Fudge here going against Braden Jones. It should be an exciting matchup. Jones 2-1 overall, makes you wonder if he's kind of coming back from an injury for this Grand Rapids squad.
He's a well-built young man on the match, but right away Jack just goes right in, kind of patenting his aggressive move on offense right off the bat. So 15 seconds in, he tries a front headlock, and now, there goes. We're in a good scramble situation. No points awarded yet, but I never count Jack out, but in a good spot is Jones. So Jones picks up Jack, and actually there's a takedown for Jones. So maybe what you said, maybe we're looking at somebody who's been out for a while, because I rarely see Jack give that leg up like that, and the kid looks really powerful from this Jones from the Thunderhawks.
He comes in with one of the only starters with 2 wins, and the rest of the team's got 5 or more. So, and with his right knee, if you could tell, heavily wrapped, made me think he might be coming off a knee injury type sort of thing during this year and making his return.
50 seconds to go with a good ride going here, and I just kind of dug up some of my archives here, Jason, and last year Jones was 29-14, finished runner-up in the section and was in the state tournament, so no slouch here for Jack Fudge tonight, and you can see a little limp to his walk there, but it doesn't seem to affect him so far. They went off the mat with 40 seconds remaining, and Jones on top, 2-0.
Jones being a senior might be one of those guys that remembers that little meeting that happened a few years ago at the state tournament where Grant Perham ran right through Grand Rapids.
There's a great reversal by Jack Fudge, who ties up the score 2-2 with 25 seconds to go. Jack's right into his offense. Jones is definitely fighting it. Jones would love to get the escape here or even a reversal. He's kind of sliding with Jack. Jack's working really hard, putting super pressure on the back right now. So 10 seconds remaining. 2-2 is the score, and I would say it looks to me like we're going to end up 2-2 unless we get some big fireworks here in the last couple seconds.
I think there's 2 wrestlers that are prone to having some fireworks, but I think we're going to see those fireworks come in the third period between these 2 guys.
Yeah, this is awesome, and these are the kind of matches that definitely help you out as you head towards the end of the year and you wrestle some of these wrestlers that are going to be like state competition. So look to me like Jones had his pick. He deferred. Jack took down, escapes immediately in about 3 seconds, and Jack Fudge leads 3-2. And just like that, Jones is in on a leg. Jack grabs the head. We got all kinds of action. There he goes, kind of in that guillotine. Oh man, we did get 2 back points, so it's now 5-2. And Jack's still trying to stack him up here. We're looking for points. This is one of those situations that you just don't know, and there Jack kind of settles back. He got a little high there, and you saw Jones trying to peek his way out. So we have a 7-2 score now, 7-2 score with 1:20 to go in this period. But whoa, there was some fireworks, just as we talked about, that you just don't know when they're coming, but you know it's going to happen. So
well, you talk about Jack being that stopper. He kind of looked like early on it was going to be a tough night for him overall, but now he's settled in and became that stopper. He's got that 5-2 or 7-2 lead now.
And there he tries stacking him up again, and definitely got that leg hook in an Iowa, and it's just Jack's doing a great job of riding. We got 50 seconds to go. Usually in these situations, I just feel real secure, like Jack's got it. This is going to be some bonus points for the Yellow Jackets, but I've been really impressed with this Jones here tonight, Braden Jones, and he's a strong kid, and we'll see what happens. 44 seconds on the clock, 7-2 lead for Jack, and he goes right in, grabs an ankle. This is a good match, ladies and gentlemen. If you were in the crowd, you can just kind of feel the people are sitting on the edge of their seats. You see when it's a good match, you see people start to lean back and forth, and that's what we're seeing happen. And they're really, whichever wrestler you're cheering for tonight, both of them are working extremely hard. But what a great ride by Jack Fudge. 10 seconds remaining. He's working on stuff. He's trying to get those back points to increase the score and get it to a major. But with 4 seconds left, it's looking like we're going to go 7-2 Fudge into the third period.
Definitely a nice period there for Jack Fudge. Almost picture perfect for him as he gets momentum now going into the third period. Perham definitely needing a W in the team column, trailing 33-12.
So we go to the third period. Jones takes down, which is kind of interesting as he kind of got rode out that second period. So Jack stays in on a great ride. Shoulders are tight. You can see he's working on trying to stack him up again. He really must feel comfortable knowing that he can get those shoulders turned to the mat. So minute 40 to go. Great job by Jack Fudge, leading 7-2. I almost thought we were going to see both up because they kind of went that way. But this has been a great match. So it looks like stalemate happened. Minute 30 to go on the clock. Minute 30, Fudge up 7-2. Jackets got some work to do ahead of them, 33-12 in favor of the Thunderhawks. But if we've noticed anything about wrestling in our short time covering it together, Jason, it doesn't take long for a score to get very tight, very fast.
No, we definitely saw that in our first few broadcasts this year when Perham was hosting Otter Tail Central, and what was an exciting night that night. But right now, Jack Fudge in control here on the back of Jones, controlling him here in this third period, looking to try to pick up a few more points and hopefully cradle him over and turn that into a pin.
Man, if riding time was a factor, like in college where you get over a minute of riding time, you get a bonus point, it would really be working in Jack's favor right now because he's had to ride about the last 3 minutes here, and now we have a stall on red, which would be a stall on the Thunderhawks, and Jones and Jack's really working on stuff. 40 seconds to go, 7-2 score. Jack would definitely like to get another 3 on the board and get some bonus points for the Yellow Jackets, and we are going to have a blood timeout. So Jack's doing a great job. It's got to be at least a 4-minute ride, if not more right now, and he is just feeling really comfortable on top. Jones with the blood timeout gives Jack a little time to talk to Coach Trout. On the side there, you can kind of see Jack over on the side, and he's probably getting some words from Trout. We have 30 seconds left to go, and we'll see what happens in this last 30 seconds. And hopefully we can get a few bonus points for the Jackets.
Definitely what they need, trailing 33-12 here in this match overall. But again, still some good opportunities, I think, for Perham here in the future to get back into this match.
One of the things while we have a little break, Jason, is we want to tell our viewers that we are going to try to close each contest and then start up a new stream. So we definitely want you to be a part of this as we get towards the end of these. Make sure that you are looking for the new stream and stick with us. And now that we have sound, maybe it's better, maybe it's worse. I don't know.
We'll hopefully keep that going and try to get the sound going right away for the next one. Apologize for that error earlier in the broadcast.
10 seconds to go, and another stall on Jones gives a point. Now it's 8-2, so any type of turn here, but time is going to run out. But a very solid win for Jack Fudge in an 8-2 decision. Makes the team score 33 to 15. So a great win for Jack there against the state opponent, and those are fun ones to watch. So congratulations to Jack there. So now we head into 182. The Jackets still down 33-15. From Grand Rapids at 182, we're going to see Tyler Prebeck. He's a senior. He's 7-1 on the season. Tyler Prebeck, a senior, 7-1 against Hudson Hackle, 3-5, a ninth grader. So this might be another one where we'll see what happens. Hudson has wrestled well, and we'll see what he can do with Mr. Prebeck here as we head into the 170 matchup. This is Tyler Prebeck had a really good season last year. He was 33-10. He finished third in the section, and he lost in the section finals 7-6. And we know how heartbreaking that can be. And then lost the true second match. So I'm guessing Mr. Prebeck here is probably had that thought in his mind for a while now, and has come out with a great 7-1 start to this campaign. Hudson tries a shot, met with the front headlock into the single leg. He picks up Hudson. Ooh, that was probably not let down as nicely as some would like. Hudson tries for the roll. Hudson's down 2-0 to Tyler Prebeck. And there's 55 seconds remaining on the clock. The score clock in the team score is 33-15. And we'll see what Tyler Prebeck does on top. I know that Hudson likes to roll. There he caught him in that roll for a few seconds. Or not a few seconds, because there was a 1 count, and Hudson rolls through. So great job by Hackle. 30 seconds remaining.
Definitely got to applaud the official here. Great positioning, something we did not see on Sunday afternoon at Lambeau Field.
It only took to the 170 match to get to that.
Had to get one in there.
And like I told my son Braylon, I said I have a response to that. Jason didn't like to hear it, but I did bring a box of Kleenexes for him tonight. There was a kind of a lift, and both guys went off the mat. So what I see from Mr. Prebeck is he's kind of a high flyer. Hudson's been up in the air a couple times, doing a great job. 15 seconds left. Hudson would love to get his one here. Kind of in a bad position, but now rolls out of it. Just hoping that Hudson doesn't get caught in one of these rolls. 3 seconds to go here, and it looks like it'll be 2-0 in favor of Tyler Prebeck from the Thunderhawks.
I'd like to thank our sponsors. This match brought to you commercial free by AOT Insurance in Perham. Did you know you can get coverage on the food in your refrigerator if it spoils due to a power outage? Call EOT Insurance in Perham today to learn more. 218-346-5648 or visit EOTinsurance.com and go Yellow Jackets.
Looks like it was Hackle's choice, if we saw that correctly. Hackle's choice, he deferred. Prebeck went down, obviously looking to get that 1-point escape, or maybe feels like he can get a reversal here. So 2-0 in favor of Prebeck. Hackle's doing a great job. There was a takedown, and then Hackle did a couple rolls, and Prebeck was ready for the rolls, but no points given there. So right now we have 1:35 on the clock. Hackle's riding, doing a good job. We'll see what Prebeck does off the bottom. Hackle seems to have good pressure as Prebeck has had his head on the mat quite a bit tonight. And there, as soon as I say that, there's the escape. So the ways of announcing. 3-0 now in favor of Tyler Prebeck. Hackle's doing a great job here. Kind of a half shot there by Hackle. 1 minute, 10 seconds remaining on the clock. And as you can see on our scoreboard, our United Community Bank up there in the corner, it's 33-15 in favor of the Thunderhawks. Hackle in on a shot, heavy on the head by Prebeck. Now actually Prebeck's trying to stretch him out a little bit and see if he can get some points going. But before he can do that, we have a stalemate situation with 47.9 seconds on the clock. It is still 3-0, and I'd love to see a takedown here by Hudson Hackle. It would make it the third period maybe one of those fireworks situations. But it looks like it's going the other way as Mr. Prebeck, who is really trying to be physical with Hudson, is the way it looks.
I was going to say, Lance, you're going to learn quickly the announcer jinx is a reality and a real thing.
Exactly. I think it's happened many times to me already. As you look on, we're 18 seconds remaining, and Hudson slips through. And there's maybe the change of the match. They had Tyler Prebeck had a cradle in. The cradle slipped. Hackle just lands on top of him, and there's a pin with Hackle being down 5-0 at that point. Who knows what that could lead to, but that's one of those game changers that it looked like it was going to be bonus points for sure for the Thunderhawks. Hackle gets the cradle slips, Hackle lands on top and gets the fall. So great job by Hudson Hackle putting this score to 33-21. And Brian Ramos is coming out at 182, 7-0 on the season, ranked number 10, looking like he is going to do the takedown game here. And it looks like this may be a youngster in an 8th grader in Weston Danielson, who is 6-2 as an 8th grader, but a tough weight to be in as we go. So Weston Danielson, I believe, is who we're looking at. I didn't catch the announcer again, as it's hard to hear from across the mat. But Brian Ramos is already up 8-4, which means he has 4 takedowns and given up 4 escapes. So great work. This has kind of been Brian's MO: takedown, escape, until he gets him into a pinning situation, which is what he did just there as he threw in the cradle. And just like we talked about, Jason, at 59 seconds, Brian Ramos gets the pin and turns the team score to 33-27. So what looked like we were going in a bad way, all of a sudden, now the score is tying back up here, or getting closer as we speak. So Hudson Hackle's switcheroo there was really a big part.
Well, that is definitely, like we talked about, the speed and how they can turn things around quickly, and that's what Perham did with that big upset there with Hackle with the pin on Prebeck.
Correctly, and now we have Rory Lindquist coming out, and Rory right away with the takedown, reverse head. He is going for a fall, which would tie this up going into 220, and he has got it pretty tight here. So what a huge turn of events there, starting with Hudson Hackle at 170. And Rory now lets the reversal happen, and it's 5-2.
I can tell you what, right away, you can see the energy level on the Perham side here, right directly in front of us. Definitely picked up a couple of notches after that pin by Hudson Hackle.
Yeah, it's one of those where it goes from bad to good in a hurry, and that good was really good. So let's see what happens here. We got a minute on the clock, 5-2. It looks like Rory's kind of back in on a single. They're working, looks like it could be a takedown, and there it is, and they're right on the edge of the mat, so we'll see what happens. And they're off the mat, and they go back to the center. So 7-2 in favor of Rory Lindquist at 195. So this can get really tight really fast here and make a fun 220 and 285 matches. And just as we got excited about it, there's a reversal, and Lindquist is now leading 7-4 with 30 seconds remaining in the first period. So a lot of action, a lot of scoring. If that's what you're here to watch, this is a fun one.
Well, I was just going to say, I think we're going to be in for a few more fireworks here with 7-4 score here with 20 seconds to go in this first period. I think some more fireworks will be had at the end of this period and the start of the next one.
10 seconds remaining on the clock, and we're looking maybe at trying for some back points, but I think he's going to run out. Lindquist is definitely trying to come out, maybe a reversal situation. 3, 2, 1, and it looks like it's going to be Lindquist up 7-4. 7-4 Lindquist heading into the second period. It's Lindquist's choice. He says, let's go both up where he's had some success.
And he got off to that fast start in that first period. Hopefully he can carry that start here into the second period and try to get some points and get out a takedown into a pin.
And there you go, Jason. You read the match's mind here as we're for sure getting back points. We have the takedown, 9-4. There's back points on the table. Definitely looking for a fall, which would tie it up 33-33. And there it is, a fall by Rory Lindquist. Nice job, Rory. Rory evens the scoreboard at 33-33, and we're going into 220, just where we started at 106.
And I think the way Grand Rapids was thinking early on that there's no way this would be happening. But Hudson Hackle, you got to give him a lot of credit, really turned the tide of this event. And I know you talk about momentum, and it's weird to say that in an individual sport, but you know what? There's a lot of momentum in a team sport like this.
For sure. So at 220, this is Danielson from the Thunderhawks versus Gordon Enyart for the Yellow Jackets. So Gordon Enyart comes in with a record of 2-2. He is a junior, and Danielson and Enyart. And you can't get a better ending. I think we've had almost every one like this, Jason.
And Danielson comes in at 6-2, so this is going to be an interesting mark. And a good start right there for Enyart.
Minute 20 left on the clock, 2-0 score for Enyart, 33-33 on the score clock, and it's gonna be a barn burner right down to the end. So obviously we're hoping for some fireworks out of Gordon here, and maybe bring some bonus points to the score clock. But just as I speak, well, no, it looked like he was Danielson was maybe working around on a switch there, but now we have Enyart back on top. One of the things is with Gordon is he is a very good cradler. So I think teams will know that. But now he looks like maybe Butcher going on here. And he's really getting physical with it. So 40 seconds remaining. So 40 seconds to try to pick up some points. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a cradle try to be slipped in here at some point. So 2-0 in favor of Enyart over Danielson. This is what people pay to see, I think, Jason, is good matches and ones that run right down to the wire.
And fortunately, thanks for our sponsors. They don't have to pay to see it tonight here on Magnitude Sports.
Even better.
I'd like to thank them and also thank United Community Bank, EOT Insurance, as well as Perham High School for making this broadcast possible here tonight from the Hive.
5 seconds remain on the clock, and it looks like we're going to go 2-0. Enyart was maybe trying to throw in his cradle there. 2-0. The Thunderhawks have the choice. They defer. Gordon says right away without hesitation, I'm going down. So Enyart in the down position, leading 2-0, and would be a big win. He tries a little, there he flipped out the backside and gets the reversal, and that didn't take long, about 5 seconds, and the score is 4-0 in favor of Gordon Enyart. And here goes Gordon to work on top, head buried into the side, trying to stretch him out, and it looks like Danielson's kind of not really trying the most to get out of that situation, but being very defensive in his not wanting to get maybe the cradle put on. Minute 20 remaining on the clock, and Gordon goes back into the side, head in the side, working it. We'll see if he rolls into that next position. Looked like he was going to cross-face cradle there for a second, and that was blocked pretty nicely. So a minute to go. Stall call on Danielson. I missed the first one. I apologize. It's now 5-1. So the second stall is a point. Gordon lets him up and takes the escape. So it's 5-1, and just like that, Gordon gets the takedown. So 7-1, 40 seconds remain. We're back in. Definitely those stall calls may prove to be costly for the Thunderhawks at this point.
Well, this is one of those points we touch on it. I know people are probably tired of hearing me talk about bonus points with 2 matches to go. It'd be really huge here for Enyart because it sets that tone and puts the pressure on the Thunderhawk wrestler going into the heavyweight.
Exactly, and I kind of get the feel that Danielson's out here not to give up bonus points. He's kind of half shooting on his offense, but more so trying to defend Enyart with 10 seconds remaining. Be nice if Gordon could get this takedown, but he is holding, and there's a switch and 2-point reversal and back points, and Gordon was on his back. So let's see what this all ends up being. Something that really looked like it was going to be Enyart with maybe a major or a tech fall position. Now it's 9-6, and Danielson, just like that, probably is gaining some steam and some confidence out here.
Well, he's going to try to get that extra point here right away and get the momentum back because he ended that period strong and fired up his teammates there on the right side.
So 9-6 in favor of Enyart. Danielson down. This is where he did his damage right at the end of the period with a little reversal type thing, but Gordon looks like he's trying to tilt him over, and here's some back points for Gordon. Not sure it's really a pinning position, but definitely got his 3, so it'll be 12-6. So we're getting to that point where getting to that 8 points would be 8-point decision would be great and give 4 points on the board. So there the 3 is awarded. A minute 25 to go. So Gordon has a shot now to put him back on his back. Gordon's doing a great job of being heavy pressure. Danielson's trying his best to stay flat and kind of really tucking himself up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a stall call here shortly with a minute to go here. It seems like at about a minute usually it's like either we got to get going or the stall call happens. Ooh, there was a one count, and I believe that coaching staff was about ready to tell him to cut and try to get a takedown. So we'll see if Gordy does what what's happening here. There's 35 seconds to go. Gordy definitely must feel, here comes maybe a cradle in. He definitely feels like he's got the upper hand here. With 12-6, he needs at least 2 here to get us to that 8 points. So now he cuts him, 12-7. After the referees stop, 12-7, 25 seconds remain. So, good shot. Oh, good shot, but slipped through by Gordy. Gordy has to cut him again. Coach Dave Vetch tells him to cut him and take him down again. Makes it 14-8, and in the process, he's getting back points. There's 8 seconds left, and how crucial would this be if he could get him to his back? But it looks like Danielson's doing a great job of fighting with 2-1. And there we have it, and oh so close. But in the midst of it, we get a 19-8 decision, which gives us a major, which puts us up 37-33 going into heavyweight. And it seems like we've been in this position before, Jason.
We definitely have, and now that's what we talked about, those bonus points that are be key going in this. And now this is going to put the pressure on. I believe it's going to be Matt Ryle is my guess for Grand Rapids here. And I was wrong. It's Noah Brendan.
So we have Noah Brendan, a senior, coming out. And for the Yellow Jackets, making his debut here, it looks like Reese Wilprick. So Reese, his first match of the season here against Brendan, a senior who at 1-1. So not much in the way of experience on the mat right now. 20 seconds have gone, 0-0. And let's, whoever you're cheering for, let's hope for a barn burner down to the end. Minute and 20 seconds left on the clock, and some arm drags and some heavy hooks going on here, and let's see what happens if one of the two takes a shot here or tries to pull somebody down with a huge arm drag. But as you can see on our score clock, it's 37-33. And this is a great spot to be in. And Reese, nice shot in, and defended well by Brendan. So 50 seconds remain. They're kind of circling around in the mat and looking again to see where or when the fireworks start here. But one of these guys is going to pick up their a good victory and seal it for their team here, hopefully. 30 seconds remaining on the clock here as we're going. They're doing a great job of staying in the center of the mat. Not a ton of offense happening right now. Kind of typical for some of those heavyweight or 285 matches where they try to wear each other down, and a lot of Russian tie and trying to pull on each other and just kind of wear your opponent out. And then the fireworks happen in the third period a lot of times. So 5 seconds remaining. Looks like we're going to go 0-0 going into the second period, and it'll be interesting to see it's Yellow Jackets' choice and what Reese will choose, and then on the other side what Brennan will choose.
This match brought to you commercial free by United Community Bank. January's winter paradise in northern Minnesota. Enjoy the outdoors with a new snowmobile or fish house. Seize the cold with a personal loan from United Community Bank. Stop in or visit ucbankmn.com to learn more. United Community Bank in Perham, Dent, and Frazee.
Reese looks over to Coach Trout, and Coach Trout says defer, and Reese does that, and Noah Brennan says we're going both up here. So as he looked at his coaching staff. So a lot of coaching going on right here right now for both wrestlers, and we'll see where this ends. And for Brennan, he's got to get something more than just a regular decision, or the Thunderhawks will still be out on the short end of the stick at 37 to 36. And for Reese, a win seals it, and are not giving up a major decision would seal it for the Yellow Jackets. So.
And it's amazing how much the style you'll see change depending on the points in a team format compared to that individual match where you're going for a different place compared to the spot that you're seeing right here.
It is. It's a interesting part to wrestling when there's individual tournaments and team tournaments. And like you said earlier, Jason, I think you did a great job of saying for an individual sport, there sure is a lot of team continuity and a lot of things that can lead to a team. And you see both teams right now really kind of cheering on their 285-pounders, going through and really knowing how important this is for both teams. So I couldn't have asked for much more than this to start out with. 30 seconds on the clock, the first of 3 for us tonight. And this has been a barn burner, so it's going to be exciting to see what comes up next as the Thunderhawks take on the Hornets from Frazee, and Frazee just stepped in the gym and are starting their warm-up. So I would guess after this we'll do a little post-game and we'll be right back at it, Jason.
I'm going to be kind of intrigued to see how this one especially matches up between these two and then goes into the next one to see what kind of Thunderhawk team you get. Do you have the one coming off the elation of a come-from-behind win, or do you have one with the team coming into a next match with a very tough loss going into it?
Exactly, and one of the things that I've learned by watching wrestling for the last 10 years or 11 years, 12 years now maybe, is matchups are such a big thing. You can have two teams that truly match up and then two teams that don't, and you would never guess the situation. So Reese did take down. We almost had some back points there.
I was just going to kind of touch on, we mentioned the last time these two teams faced each other was kind of one of those emotional situations where we saw at the state tournament.
Exactly. So interesting to see the boots go in on a heavyweight, and now they're looking at a power half, and now things are getting intense in the hive. We've got people almost standing up, directing which way, and it looks like we're getting tipped over here, and back points are happening. So now we just got to hope for not a fall here, Jason, because a fall would end it for us. Right now, 3-0 doesn't really do it, but this is a long time with a minute remaining, and there's the fall, Jason. It's kind of what we've seen throughout this year. It's came right down to the wire, and what a great match for Noah Brennan, and for Reese, it's a good start out on the mat against a good opponent. The sad part is in this kind of match, somebody has to be the winner and somebody has to be the loser, and it ends up the Yellow Jackets on the bottom part of this with a 39-37 loss. So, Jason, I think we'll take a couple commercial breaks here, and then we'll come back and recap this thing, huh?
Sounds good to me, Lance. Thank you. And again, you're watching the Thunderhawks and the Yellow Jackets here on Magnitude Sports. Thunderhawks end a 39-37 victory over the Yellow Jackets. We'll be back shortly.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rusted, Chief Lending Officer with United Community Bank. I'm just excited we've been partnering with businesses for over 100 years. Come and see why so many of your friends and neighbors have put their trust in United Community Bank. Stop in and see us in Perham, Frazee, and Dent, or you can visit us online at ucbankmn.com. We're excited for you to be part of our community, United Community Bank.
United Community Bank.
Well, welcome back here to the Hive, one that went down to the wire. The Grand Rapids Thunderhawks pick up a victory over the Yellow Jackets 39-37 with the victory. They move to 9-0 on the season. The Thunderhawks do with the victory there. They're looking to go to 10-0, and they take on Frazee next. Perham drops their record to 2-7. Some exciting matches throughout that one, Lance. One that really stands out was Hudson Hackle getting the victory that he did that kind of turned the momentum a little bit. And then, of course, you go to the end to the heavyweight, and it is Grand Rapids getting the road win with the late pin. And a lot of excited Thunderhawk fans in attendance here. The ones that were amongst COVID protocol were on their feet celebrating that big victory tonight over Perham.
Yeah, Jason, well put. This was a fun match to watch. It just seems like it's kind of that Perham's kind of snake bit right now. Just getting that last victory sometimes is so tough, and getting off of the difference between a win and a loss is so close. And what a wave of emotions. You go from Hudson Hackle being down 5-0, being put in the cradle looking like it's going to be a major or more for the Thunderhawks, and all of a sudden he slips out, lands on top of the guy, cradle or gets him hooked up, and right away we're in a pin, and the emotions, like Jason you had mentioned, it was elation. Like the Perham kids jumped off the benches, and we were ready to go, and then that wave of emotion turns the other way. So great matchup. Definitely give it to the Thunderhawks a little bit. They came ready to wrestle, and there's only so many good things you can take in a loss, but I saw some kids really wrestle well tonight. Levi Krusel came out. That was fun to see, and it was just fun to see Chandler Mickelson get us started off again. So some big wins by those guys, and I'm looking like, Jason, we may run right from post-game right into the next one, huh?
Well, that's exactly what it looks like here. Grand Rapids elated. They're going to go from the victory and get ready to take on Frazee. Perham will get a little bit of a break to steam a little bit and get ready to take on Frazee later tonight. So we'll wrap things up here. Thank you for tuning in for this one. We'll start a new stream here on Magnitude Sports shortly as we get ready for the next bout between the Hornets and the Thunderhawks here on the Magnitude Sports Network.
The proceeding has been a presentation of the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and to order a DVD copy of this broadcast, simply visit msportsnet.com/DVD.
That's right. Welcome here back to the Hive. I'm Jason Groth with Lance Rock as we're getting ready for match number 2 of 3, which should be a very entertaining one. The Frazee Hornets getting ready to take on the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks. The Thunderhawks coming off a very nice victory to start the night with a 39-37 victory over the Perham Yellow Jackets, But this Thunderhawks squad definitely on a roll right now, 9-0, looking for win number 10.
Yeah, that was a fun one, this last one, and I look forward to this one. I haven't seen or heard much about Frazee yet this year, and it's good to see them in person and definitely over here in Perham for the next 2 matches. So this is going to be an interesting one. There's going to be some good matchups that I see coming up as we work through, and we'll highlight some of those as we get going. And you just never count out the Hornets, I think. You know, their legacy of winning year after year after year. I really believe that these kids never feel like they're out of a match and that they're always ready to go. And I see by looking at some of the information we got that Travis Nagel is now the head coach over there. It's kind of the passing of the torch from father to son there. And so I think you'll be seeing some of the same things come out of the Hornet wrestling room that maybe you've seen in the past. So pretty exciting time for them as they're starting a new chapter in Hornet wrestling.
Well, this should be an exciting one that I am definitely, kind of looking forward to, also for the fact that I had some ties to the Grand Rapids area, working up there for part of my career before I moved on here to Perham. So this should be a fun one tonight. Grand Rapids, actually, the head coach, Mike Schauer, had a chance to do a radio broadcast of wrestling with him once before in Itasca, at Itasca Community College, when the Vikings were one of the wrestling powers at the junior college level. So I had a chance to do some broadcasts with him, and it should be an exciting one here for the Thunderhawk team coming off that nice victory. They're riding that wave of emotion. When you're coming off a high like they did, thinking that, we might be losing this match, you get the turn, you get the pin, you get the win, and now you have that momentum going into this next match against a Frazee team who was getting warmed up and got a chance to see that. So it's got to be a little bit of unique on both sides of things. If you're looking at from the Frazee side, what do you expect, knowing this team's coming in with a wave of emotion like that?
One of the things that you brought up in the earlier broadcast, Jason, I was just thinking about is how do teams react if that would have went the other way? Would the Thunderhawks, would we see a different Thunderhawks wrestling club than we're going to see now after coming through that emotion and going, whew, we pulled off a big victory there. So really, it's going to be fun to see how it goes. These triangulars do bring in some of that. Like, I know Coach Vetch and Coach Trout are up there working with the Yellow Jackets, and they're getting them ready, and they'll have them ultra prepared for the last matchup. And you wonder kind of what Coach Schauer said to the Thunderhawks, or do you just ride the emotion and say, go get them? The first time it worked here, let's do it again.
Well, it should be a very exciting one as we're just a few seconds away from the start of this match between Grand Rapids and Frazee. Again, it could go down to the wire, or you never know what to expect, but this team coming out with a lot of energy to get things going, especially here in Frazee, seeing that, Grand Rapids may have had that emotion. They're like, you know what, we're going to try to stomp it out of you and get the W.
Exactly. So, again, the ending always comes to those 285-pounders, but it's just as crucial in my book how you start at 106. So if Frazee can kind of stomp it down right away and get a few victories to start with. We also have the JV warming up on the other side of the mat here, and they're getting ready to go, and it looks like there's a lot of JV guys getting ready to go. So we're ready to roll here. Sorry for the delay there. I'm just trying to pick up who's wrestling. So for Frazee, we have an 8th grader, Cade Nagel, coming out. And for the Thunderhawks, we have a 9th grader, Alex Lehman, with a 6-3 record. And Lehman starts right away with a front headlock. And we'll see what happens here. Lehman was a formidable opponent for Mickelson here in the opening round. And Mickelson's been off to a hot start. And Lehman's looking to score early here. We got 1:30 to go in the first period, and it looks like Lehman is dangerously close to maybe trying to pick up some points here, at least get that takedown, and there it is. So 2-0 And we got some back points being counted as well. So really, really, really good start here for Lehman as he gets 3 more and leads 5-0 with a minute to go here. So working a series of moves. One thing I know is when that leg's tied up there and he gets it released. So we'll see what happens and what kind of things we're working on here. Looks like Lehman's trying to get some legs in, get the boots in, as they say, and see what he can do from there. Looking for that tilt, but I don't see the shoulders at an angle yet, but pulling hard with 40 seconds to go, leading 5-0. Lehman's looking tough on top here. Kind of stretching out that arm. 30 seconds remain, so we'll see what happens in that last 30 seconds, and the ref stops it with a potentially dangerous, and that's a good thing when those arms and shoulders get up above the ear there and some safety protocol. So good stop of the match there, and we have 29 seconds remaining. The score is still 5-0 in favor of Alex Lehman from the Thunderhawks, and he's riding out with 20 seconds to go. Cade Nagel is an 8th grader for Frazee. I don't have the records for Frazee, so I apologize for that, but is doing a good job on the bottom, not giving up any more points as we come to the conclusion of the first period. He was about ready to sneak his way out of there and is trailing 5-0 starting the second, and it looked like it was Lehman's choice and he went both up. Again, one of the things that I mentioned in the first broadcast was that it seems like the Thunderhawks feel really, really comfortable with their offense, as they usually or genuinely like to take up, which to me leads to, hey, I can take you down. Minute 30 to go here. Still a 5-0 lead. 5-0 lead for Alex Lehman, a 9th grader with a 6-3 record for the Thunderhawks. And we're doing a lot of hand fighting right now. And we are staying in the center of the mat. There's a shot from a distance and a good opportunity there for Mr. Cade Nagel on a reshot. But then here comes Lehman right back, and they go off the mat. But a shot from a distance, then a reshot, and both wrestlers are definitely taking their opportunities here, and we'll see where it leads them. We have 1 minute remaining in the second period of a really good opening match for both teams right now. Again, the second whistles that you'll hear, or maybe we'll hear, will be the JV matches to the left of us, and it looks like both squads come with some pretty good numbers for JV, so you'll probably hear more whistles than we've heard in the past as they will be going probably long into this one. So good job by Nagel here with a little Russian tie, and they both go off the mat. 25 seconds remaining on the clock. 5-0. In favor of Lehman, and he kind of got some word from his coaches. We'll see if he tries to get in on a shot here in those last seconds and to get that takedown. Ten seconds remaining as we go, so some snaps going on here, and we're looking. 5 seconds remaining, kind of a drag. Are we going to get it? No, we go out of bounds. Close, real close, as they were working their way out. 4 seconds remaining, so my guess is we will go into period number 3. Alex Lehman, freshman, 6-3 record, and now we'll take a 5-0 lead, and it is Nagel's choice, and Nagel chooses down. So my guess is we'll see a little ride here, see if we can get some points. If we can't, my guess is that as comfortable as Lehman's felt on top, he may just cut him and try the takedown and see if he can get some points here. But I have guessed many times in the last 2 weeks, and I have been wrong almost 90% of the time.
I was going to say in the last hour alone, maybe
That's probably true.
I was just going to, I had to get that in.
Yeah.
I know you're going to work on a saying tonight, too. I'm looking forward to.
Oh, yeah. The first time I tried a saying, we all know how that went. Great job here by both wrestlers. Nagel's trying to get his head out of the side, and thus would probably get some. Oh, it's a tough ride right now. Here we go. Let's see what kind of action we get into. It'd be nice to get into a scramble situation here. See what both wrestlers do. 1 minute to go in this one. 5-0 yet. And nothing happening there. I thought Nagel was coming out for the reversal. He's still doing a good job. We're trying to look like maybe a tilt or some sort. Trying to come about for Alex Lehman. And what I thought was going to be sure bonus points for Lehman to start this one. Nagel has done a great job of limiting those points.
Well, young kid is Cade Nagel, but you hear the Nagel name and you obviously think of veteran wrestling family.
Pretty sure it's not his first time on the mat.
And that's what I was just going to say. You can tell that experience. He knows what to do to preserve.
We have a caution on red, so we're getting a restart here, a reposition. 40 seconds to remain, 40 seconds, and he really looks like he's trying to get some work on some back points here, but Nagel's being really stubborn in being underneath and not giving it up as we go. So 25 seconds remain, 5-0 lead for Alex Lehman, all in the first period. So we kind of rode that wave of thinking maybe this would be high scoring, and then all of a sudden it just kind of went to a standstill. So 13 seconds remaining. We get a restart, still 5-0. And it's been a good match for not much scoring. And here goes Nagel grabbing. Will he be able to come over the top and get his two? Looks like Lehman's got a kind of a tight hold on here, though. So 1 second remaining, and there it is. And Alex Lehman is your winner with a 5-0 score, which gives a 3-point edge on our scoreboard to the Thunderhawks. So 3-0. Thunderhawks going in on a nice win by Alex Lehman, but certainly credit Cade Nagel there.
Yeah, Cade Nagel did a nice job there. He almost got some points late, but Lehman, a strong night tonight, going 1-1. Had a tough battle in his first match, but getting that nice victory there for Grand Rapids here at 106. So Asher Brennan will pick up a forfeit victory at 113 as Frazee is open.
Frazee open at 113. Puts the team score at 9-0. Okay, so we have Justin Job coming in at 120 for the Thunderhawks. He is rated 6th in the state. He is 9-0 on the season and came out like a house of fire against the Yellow Jackets and really kind of did some damage. And I believe this is Christian Carlson for, I believe, let me check here. This would be maybe Bailey Peichel here. I didn't catch the name again, but I'm hoping that it's Bailey Peichel here, an 8th grader.
That's kind of what it sounded like from my end.
Okay, perfect. Bailey Peichel, an 8th grader, definitely got the height advantage here, but what we saw, we've got some good action right off the bat with 30 seconds gone here in the first period. So kind of some shots, some repositions. So kind of in the first period where we were, in the first match where we were stagnant, this one they're kind of being real physical and aggressive to start. So different matches bring different things, and this has been fun so far. There's a nice deep shot in on a single, kind of goes to a double. Peichel reaches over the top, grabs the ankle, now deep waist kind of situation. So we'll see what happens. And Peichel does a good job of just heavy on the head. And it looks like now almost he's in the better position with the front headlock. So 45 seconds remaining, 0-0. Thunderhawks up 9-0 on the scoreboard. And with a 3-0 decision and a forfeit at 113. And we have 0-0 with 36 seconds on the clock. Kind of a unique thing, Jason. If you the announcement about what they do on a triangular for wrestling. If you want to fill in the fans a little bit about crowd switching at certain times. And
well, yeah, before this match, they actually made the announcement, asked the Perham faithful to please step out for a little bit so the Frazee fans can come in and the Grand Rapids fans can come in. We're only limited to 150 people, so which is mainly 2 people per participant. And then if you try to keep a social distancing, it kind of spread out. We're fortunate here with the beautiful gym that we have at the Hive that this works out perfectly. But, you know, when you have a match like normally like this, Perham Frazee night, this place would be packed ready already right now waiting for that one.
Exactly, and there's the horn for the first period, 0-0, so a nice effort by both wrestlers and a lot of action for no scoring. So fun to watch, and I expect to see something happening here soon as we have Job on the bottom, and Job tries at the stand-up, and Peichel comes over the top of him and takes him right back down to the mat. So Peichel looks very comfortable down. Job is working his way back up, but a lot of heavy pressure there. Headlock position there. I thought we were going to see a throw, Jason.
And I was going to kind of interrupt you there a little bit. They did get a point on the board for
Job. He got the escape on the way out. So
I say the switch of the fans allowing to leave to come back also helps out some local establishments as they're able to kill some time, watch us at Magnitude, and come back here and watch the next match.
And if you're in the parking lot watching us, I'm glad you could join us. So we'll do the best we can to keep you informed and where we're at. So minute 15 seconds to go. Still 1-0 lead. Deep shot here. But Peichel throws the head. And then here comes Job behind for 2, and kind of looked like it took Job by surprise there, and then he didn't seem to took that too kindly. So now physical, but here good stand-up, and it looks like we could have a switch coming here, and he's working his way behind, almost to at least an escape, which it's 3-0 for Job right now. Ninth grader who's 8-0, rated 6th in the state, against Bailey Peichel. Bailey Peichel, an 8th grader, and this looks like it could go right down to the wire here. So 30 seconds remain. We had a stalemate. Peichel goes down. Job covers. And we'll see what happens. Quick switch. Job follows, now gets chest to shoulders. And but it looks like Peichel is he's definitely trying to roll that over, and he's getting really close. But Job kind of now gets into a better position, and they both go off the mat. 13 seconds remaining. So awesome job by Frazee here, kind of weathering the storm and holding it to 3-0. Makes it anybody's ball game in the third.
This has been an exciting. You could just see him close in there. You knew it was coming, that he's going to get it one.
And again, we talked about those last second points, Jason, and there it was, an escape with about 3 seconds to go. You know, now it's anybody's ball game at 3-1, and Peichel takes down. And Job says, we're not going through this. He lets him up right away, and now it's 3-2. It should be 3-2 on the scoreboard, and there it is. So takedown's going to be huge here. Whichever wrestler you're cheering for as you're watching this tonight, you're looking for that takedown right now to give them an advantage at this point. Minute 40. Some Russian ties going there, and both wrestlers head to the center of the mat. And I'm impressed with Mr. Peichel's physicality here, and he gets in on a deep single. Wizard by Job. Job has got that wizard in pretty good, and there goes Peichel over the top, and this time Job tries to roll, and Mr. Peichel says, hey, not today, fella. So it's 4-3, and in go the boots. So if you're This is a position that really breaks down the wrestler. It's hard for the wrestler to come out with all that pressure being placed on the shoulders, and you have no leg strength to go with it. So 50 seconds to go. 50 seconds to go, and we have, I don't know if it's a stalemate or maybe headgear. headgear back in place, and we're going to start back over. Peichel covers up Job. Job's down 4-3. Peichel's up 4-3. And this has been a great match. And there's another caution. This time the caution goes to Frazee, so we'll start again with 55 seconds remaining. Job tries to trap the arm and do a roll of his own. Peichel is doing a great job of riding. So you can see this is important to Frazee as the kids and the coaches are starting to stand now.
Well, this is one of those spots there. I think you look at this match and you see Justin Job at 8-9-0, ranked in the state, that this is one of those spots that Grand Rapids is thinking they might get a couple of points and extend their lead, but now Frazee might get a big win here and turn the momentum to their side.
25 seconds remain, and Peichel's doing a great job of riding. Job really hasn't really got the head off the mat with the pressure, the constant pressure on his shoulders. So we're down to 15 seconds. If Job's going to make something happen, it's got to come quick. And right now it looks like Peichel's really satisfied with just staying on the shoulders. But here we go, 8 seconds. 5. It looks like it might go to in the way of Frazee and Peichel, and it does. And that brings all of the Frazee guys up to their feet. So Bailey Peichel with a 4-3 decision, which puts Frazee on the board and makes the scoreboard say Thunderhawks 9, Hornets 3, and we'll head into 126.
And we'll try to catch him, but that's a big win for Bailey Peichel, as you had Job, who hadn't lost all year, 9-0, ranked in the States. Tanner Moreland will be on the mat for Grand Rapids.
This could be another good one, Jason. Christian Carlson from the Hornets, he comes in as a senior. Last year, Christian Carlson was 30-18 as a junior, second in the sections, made it to the state tournament, really came on at the end of the year, as I remember listening to them. And this is a big match because even though he's young, Tanner Moreland looked really good coming out. He was 9-0 on the season, I believe, right now at 126, and he's an 8th grader. So a good-looking 8th grader versus a senior. You'll see if some of that experience can go the way of the Hornets, and they try to bite into this lead again. So another really good, solid matchup at the beginning of a wrestling match for us, Jason.
That's one of the things we talked about in our Perham broadcast, is that Thunderhawks have a rich wrestling tradition as well, and they're definitely, I don't want to say rebuilding, because they're just reloading when they're at that level, and they've been a power in Section 7 AA for a long time.
Correct. Yeah, we've seen many of their individuals at state and their team. Obviously, we talked about for sure, but here we had Moreland in on a shot, and Christian Carlson's trying to kind of come out the back door here. Moreland's holding on tight. But he's got his leg trapped in there, and there is the takedown for Carlson. So again, with 30 seconds to go here in the first period, another great start for the Hornets, and I'm impressed with what I'm seeing out of these Hornets, whether it was Cade Nagel, Bailey Peichel, or Christian Carlson here. They're coming out ready to wrestle and look like they are going to be a formidable opponent for whoever they face.
Well, it's going to be definitely very interesting to see how this plays out with some of the guys coming up for Grand Rapids, where Perham was able to take advantage there, and we'll see if Frazee can do that against this undefeated Thunderhawk team.
That is correct. So there's the end of the first period. Sorry I didn't give you many updates as we got going there on the time, but it's 2-0 in favor of Carlson. 2-0 in favor of Carlson. It's Carlson's choice, I believe. Carlson defers, and we'll see what Moreland's decision is. He's talking to his coaches, and as Jason said, Mike Schauer tells him, hey, go down and let's get that point. So 2-0 lead for Carlson. Carlson did a great job riding in the first, so let's see what Moreland has, if he changes up his style, changes up his move, and see what can happen as we get going. So minute 45, 15 seconds, and there's that little half roll. Moreland just kind of sits there and waits for the roll to happen, and he stays, and there's the reversal, and 2-2. So just like we started the match, we're all even here with a minute 30 seconds remaining in period number 2.
This is one of those that seems like it's just got that feeling that's going to go down to some late second heroics at the end of the third period, I think.
One of the things that even though the crowd's small, there's one of two things that happen, Jason. It seems like the crowd gets really loud and on their feet, or they get really super quiet in these good matches. And right now it's kind of really eerily super quiet.
I was just going to say, we probably hear us all the way across the gym right
Probably.
now. I think it's you see a lot of people at the edge of their seats just into it, leaning back when there's close moments here.
Here we're looking for back points. Moreland's really, there he goes, doing a nice job of putting some heavy pressure. So this was a big turn of events. He's got it tight. There's 45 seconds remaining, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a long time, but there goes Carlson sliding back to his base. And no points award. Oh, there he does award the points as we change. So Moreland takes a 5-2 lead. And just like that, Carlson's coming out, going to get his 5-3. 25 seconds remaining. So good action there as they went back and forth. Good action. 15 seconds remaining on the clock, and it'll be interesting to see if anybody takes a shot, but we're getting down there right now, and it seems like both wrestlers are quite content right now to go into the third period with the score being 5-3 in favor of Tanner Moreland, an 8th grader with a 9-0 record. So Christian's going to go down. Christian Carlson for the Frazee Hornets chooses down. Moreland's going to cover him up. And here we go. In a big mat return. The lift and the big mat return. And all legal as both of his arms were free and he could catch himself on the way down. But on those big mat returns, all of a sudden, you get flattened out pretty quickly, and it's tougher to get out once you get flat on the mat. Carlson pops up. Another mat return by Moreland. For an 8th grader, this is a pretty strong kid, Jason.
Oh, definitely. You tell they spent their time in the weight room as well.
Back up for Carlson. It looks like we're going to try for another lift and another back to the mat. So 3 returns in a row, but you got to give it to Carlson. He just keeps popping right up and trying to make something happen. 1:05 remaining in this period. Again, Moreland is up 5-3. Now 5-4 as the escape happens, and great job by Carlson continuing pressure even though those 3 mat returns happen. So now let's see what happens. Will Moreland stay on the offense, or will he get defensive here and try to hold on to that 5-4 lead? And we'll probably find out shortly what Carlson's go-to move is, as it seems like you get that 30-second mark and all of a sudden you go to the thing that you do best.
And that also leads to one of my favorite things I hear in the crowd every time is the chant of wrestle.
Yeah,
I
wrestle.
had to throw that in once.
20 seconds remaining, and there goes Carlson on a shot met by Moreland. So Moreland's in a great position here in the front head. If he just holds back and he stays deep, this is a position for him to hold on. So 10 seconds remaining, and I'll do my best. There is Carlson again on a shot. No stall calls have been awarded, so 2-1, and probably a huge victory, even though you look at the records and you look at having an 8th grader now going 10-0. This was probably a big win for the Thunderhawks, which puts them up 12-3 on the scoreboard and sends us to 132.
A very nice victory there for Moreland. I was impressed, Lance, the way he was defensively at the end of that period, and we did a good job of preserving that lead.
Okay, so we're juggling around on ours. Out for the Thunderhawks is Phil Keenan, a junior at 7-1, and I can't remember what he did in our first match. I should have wrote it down so I could give you an updated score, but I did not. And it sounded like Brady Crabtree for the Hornets. So here we go, 15 seconds already off the clock. Brady Crabtree is a 9th grader for the Hornets. Keenan, a junior. I do know that Keenan was 7-1 coming into the matchup tonight, and I do remember him now being very aggressive. So this will be interesting spot here really for the Hornets, as the they can't really afford to keep giving up wins to the Thunderhawks, and they certainly can't afford to give up bonus points.
Well, you know, you're getting that part of the lineup where Perham was able to take a little bit of advantage in their duel with Grand Rapids, but this, like you said, Keenan definitely the aggressor, definitely gets going. High energy is what I want to say when I see him.
Exactly, kind of that quick twitch muscles. He really moves well, and it's instant when he wants to go. So we have a minute remaining in the first period, with Keenan up 2-0, and he's definitely got the armbar locked up here. And one of the things that I always remember hearing the coaches is slow. Go slow, and I don't know that that's in Keenan's vocabulary. So he does power him over, and now is getting back points. And it's kind of a bad spot for Brady Crabtree right now. And there is the fall at about 40 minute 21, I would guess, somewhere in there. Minute 21 is a fall for Keenan, and some big points there for the Thunderhawks as they're starting that separation. But in the first one, we saw the same thing, Jason. That separation can go by in the drop of a hat with bonus points.
And we mentioned that that's where it turned for Perham, was with the Hudson Hackle pin. We'll see what happens here as Zach Wilkie gets ready to come out at 145 against Jake Nagel, another familiar last name.
This should be a good one. Jake Nagel's a sophomore and has been on varsity for many years already as a sophomore, so knows his way around the mat. And Zach Wilkie is a junior, and I have Zach Wilkie at 6-1 coming in to tonight's match, and if I believe he got the forfeit against the Yellow Jackets. So he is 7-1 coming into tonight's match. So I would say that this is probably one of those matchups you look up. It could be a little bit of a marquee matchup as the wrestlers take the mat with a minute 25 remaining.
It's almost one of those, if you're Frazee, you kind of look at, I mean, I know you're looking at the team thing. When you look at it that way, this is one of those almost must get here and must get some bonus points here.
Exactly, and you're looking at the lineup right now as I'm looking at the Hornets, and again, we're guessing off of what we go, but this should be a pretty good part of the lineup for the Hornets. As you look at Nagel coming here with 1 minute remaining in the period, 0-0 score, and then a wrestler that's been on the mat for a long time for the Hornets, and Caden Hemans. And so this would be a spot as we see Jake Nagel get the takedown with 45 seconds remaining here. This might be a good spot for the Hornets to make up some difference on the score clock.
It's just something about getting a feel of a W on your side to get some momentum, get your teammates feeling good. And I think that just builds and try to build on something.
Right, that's for sure.
And actually, I don't mean to interrupt you there, but
No.
we talked about it in the Perham one. The stopper is what you're looking for
Yep.
right here if you're Frazee.
This is a good time. This would be a great point in the match, Jason. You are correct to have it stop and get the points rolling the other direction, and then if you can follow it up, it's going to be a great match depending on who the Thunderhawks throw out there. If it's Dusty Wilkie versus Caden Hemans, I think we're in for some fireworks. So I would really be excited to see that one. So we'll see what the matchup brings us. Right now we had a potentially dangerous hold with 16.8 seconds on the clock. Jake Nagel leading 2-0. Deep waist ride for Nagel, and it looks like he is working towards something, but ready for the second period with 3-2, and then there's the horn as we're going to the second period with Nagel leading 2-0.
It's one thing I like, you look at the setup here, the beautiful hive, and you look across the way, you see a lot of eyes coming out of the wrestling room as you see the Yellow Jacks scouting and getting ready because they know they're facing the Hornets next.
Exactly. It's a great atmosphere with the walking track around and the way it's set up. It's great for basketball, but it's equally as good for wrestling. So a lot of great matches have been already in this gym, and it's fun to continue that.
We like to praise this gym because it's our own, but if you remember Section 2A last year, the semifinals and finals here was just an exciting atmosphere. Lights off when you get the spotlights down from the scoreboard on the center mat. It is something else to be taken to be able to part in. Hopefully soon we'll be able to have those full crowds again.
Yep, that would be awesome. But since we can't, we're glad you could join us, and we're grateful that we're able to bring it to you. Still 2-0, a minute 20 on the clock. Nagel looking for a little cross-face cradle there. That's easy for me to say. A good thing I don't have to say it 3 times fast. And he's doing a great job riding here. This has been a good match. 2-0, obviously. Sometimes it's not always the high-flying 16 to 14 matches that are fun to watch. It's fun to watch when kids are in good defense. So we got to watch that knee underneath him there a little bit, and there it is, potentially dangerous, as that knee was kind of getting trapped under of Nagel's. So Nagel looked like he was about ready to come out and score there, or maybe work on some back points, but that knee was in a dangerous position, and we always want to favor safety. So this, dangerous. Good job by Nagel. Now Nagel takes advantage. Nagel's getting back points. Nice job by Jake Nagel getting 2 back points with 40 seconds to go. He leads 4-0 on our scoreboard. That was a good flurry there, Jason. It was fun to watch them go back and forth, and it's that teetering point when you don't know who's going to get it. That's kind of brings the crowd to their feet. 20 seconds remain here in the second period. Nagel up 4-0, excuse me. 4-0 for Nagel with 10 seconds remaining. And it looks like we will go into the third period with that 4-0 lead for Nagel. There's our horn, and it's Nagel's choice. Nagel chooses down. So Nagel looking to go up 5-0 or looking for that reversal. So I don't think we're done with scoring yet. It's 4-0, and there hasn't been a lot of scoring, but the score doesn't match the action that's been happening.
I'll say with the trends that we've had with some of the matches we've covered this year, the third period is going to be a high-scoring period, I think, and I won't be surprised to see that happen in this one.
Right. Wilkie's doing a good job here. He's covering up Nagel. Let's see how long this lasts. He's going to have to get some points on the board, so whether he thinks he can cut him and score, but it looks like to me he wants to ride him right now. We're down 30 seconds in, and Nagel now grabs the leg, and Nagel's maybe off the mat we go. So It's been that teeter-totter with this. We're not really sure who's going to come out on top, so hang on, folks.
It's going to be interesting to see, like you mentioned, when do you make that decision to cut them and then try to get the takedowns and get points that way, or do you keep trying to ride and then get the turn?
You know, as you think about that, the most you're going to get on back points is 3, so you're still going to be down 1. So at some point you're going to have to release or really feel confident in being on top and turning him twice. And sometimes turning it happens really fast, and sometimes it takes a long time. So with only a minute remaining, it looks like they're okay with the ride out here and trying to score off the top position. And it doesn't look like they're in any interest of cutting right now. So
I was just looking at the coaching staff, I think as you were as well, and they took a lean back on the chair and like, all right, we'll just take this in and just, keep it at 4.
Yep, and there's a stall on Nagel. So that first stall is no points. It's simply a warning. Second one will give you a point, and here goes Nagel just on cue after he gets that stall call. He tries a roll of himself. So 28 seconds remaining. 4-0 Nagel. One stall call on Nagel. It looks like Wilkie is still trying to turn him over. Nagel looks like he's close to maybe Granby here a little bit. Wilkie steps back behind and hooks the ankle in the Iowa. 10 seconds remain. It looks like it's going to be a 4-0 decision in favor of Jake Nagel, which one of those that you got the stop, but it didn't quite feel like the victory that maybe Frazee wanted it to be. So great win by Jake Nagel against a tough opponent. Gives the score to 18-6, heading into 145. So we'll listen in real quick and see if we can catch the names, and we'll be right with you trying to call this one, and this might be a good match as well. And we got what we were looking for here, Jason. So 145, Caden Hemans, a senior. Watched Caden for Caden for a long time here. He's kind of a high-flying, likes to throw. We could see some fireworks, but he's going against Dusty Wilkie, who's rated 9th in the state. He is 9-0 on the year, and so this is kind of the matchup we were looking for.
Well, this is definitely one that we're thinking a good opportunity to see, hopefully some high-flying action and see some points on the board.
It'd be interesting to know if Zach Wilkie and Dusty Wilkie are twins because they're both juniors. Maybe they're just related, I don't know, but never bad to have wrestling family that has twins. And here comes some of that high flying. Hemans kind of goes over the top, spins around. Wilkie just kind of sits down and is pulling over the top. So we're going to see, referee says stalemate. We have a minute to go, so 1 minute gone. We've got our first shot taken away here on by these guys, so it'll be fun to see where this ends. There goes Hemans really low on a single. Tries to switch to a double. Going to try to elevate that bottom leg a little bit. Wilkie, Dusty Wilkie, kind of throws in a deep waist, and we're back to center again. So great work by both. Great offense there by Hemans. Good defense by Dusty Wilkie, and we're still at zeros with 40 seconds remaining. Ooh, there's a nice takedown by Dusty Wilkie. Puts him up 2-0 with 25 seconds remaining on the clock. And then let's see what he's doing when he is on top. So heavy ride right now, chest on shoulders, head in the back of the neck. 14 seconds remaining here. And looks like Dusty Wilkie's very comfortable on top riding. So we have stoppage for blood, I believe. Wilkie with blood, so we'll have a little bit of a blood timeout. Maybe this would be a good time to go to one of our sponsors, Jason.
We'll definitely thank one of our sponsors here as we get ready as we're watching the Hornets and the Thunderhawks.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rusted, Chief Lending Officer with United Community Bank. I'm just excited we've been partnering with businesses for over 100 years. Come and see why so many of your friends and neighbors have put their trust in United Community Bank. Stop in and see us in Perham, Frazee, and Dent, or you can visit us online at ucbankmn.com. We're excited for you to be part of our community, United Community Bank.
And we're back to action here, and you missed like the last 3 seconds as they came back. Not much happened. There was a try at a stand-up. Wilkie defers. Hemans takes down. Wilkie says, let's both go up. So there's an escape. So it's 2-1 in favor of Dusty Wilkie. And Hemans, now we're both back on our feet. So let's see where the action takes us tonight. It's been a fun one so far. And this is a good battle. I'm amazed. Wilkie looks pretty built here. They've got some nice-looking athletes at Grand Rapids. We're off the mat, back to the center.
I'm trying to work some of my sources to find out that question that we had earlier about this too.
I'm glad you have connections. Minute 25 remaining, and Wilkie's been on like a continuous shots here. So Wilkie's kind of being the aggressor right now. Hemans is doing a good job of defending, and he continues to do a good job of defending. And they're right on the edge of the mat, so let's see what happens. And again, we've got a stalemate. So good offense, good defense, ends in a stalemate. So a minute to go here in the second period. Wilkie's up 2-1, and this is maybe not quite the offensive flurry that I thought it might be, but still really fun to watch.
It's my turn to get that announcer jinx tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to return it this way.
There's Wilkie for a takedown and a 4-1 lead with 40 seconds remaining. And let's see, when he was on top before, just heavy pressure. And let's see if he tries to get some sort of turn in here. I would guess he's going to have to pick a side pretty soon. Just riding parallel probably is going to get a stall. There is our first stall, but it was on green, so I believe that's Frazee. So we have a stalling call and a stalemate, and a 4-1 lead with 18 seconds remaining, with the Thunderhawks, Dusty Wilkie leading 4-1 over Caden Hemans, and there's a roll from Hemans. Wilkie does a great job of just riding with that roll. 9 seconds remaining, and Hemans would really like to get this escape right now to make it 4-2. But Wilkie's doing a great job of tying up legs, and we are going to go into the third period with Wilkie leading 4-1, and the Thunderhawks leading 18-6 on the scoreboard.
I still think we're going to see some fireworks and some points in this period. That's my call.
I'm guessing you're correct, but we're 0 for 4 on the night. So
it's also a simple call. So.
Yeah, exactly. Wilkie chooses down. Hemans traps the arm, now wraps up the leg, now puts the boots in himself. So kind of turning the tide on Wilkie, who did similar to him in the first 2 periods, working on that deep half right now. And then we'll see how long this goes before a stalemate. It seems like we haven't been able to sit too long on the bottom or the top here, and we get a stalemate. And right on cue, thank you, referee Geyser, for making me look. I'll call that 1 for 5. Good switch attempt there by Wilkie. Hemans climbs up top, traps the leg. He's going to have to return him pretty fast, or we're going to end up with that We're going to end up with that second stall if Wilkie stays up and we just stay on the leg. So if he's kicking here, at some point, Hemans is going to have to let go. He doesn't. There's the stall and another point. So now you give up that point for stalling, and you give up the escape. So now there's 2 points, so almost like a takedown by not releasing him in the first place. So 55 seconds remain, 6-1 for Wilkie. My guess is he's going to look for a takedown. He does look for a takedown, but Hemans just comes right around behind him. Nobody has the advantage right now. There is a 2-point takedown for Hemans, makes it 6-3. Neither one seem like they're real comfortable in this spot right now, and we have a potentially dangerous, which starts us over with 35 seconds to go, and Wilkie leading 6-3.
Also, a lot of shout-outs to Perham Yellow Jackets tonight. A lot of them are on the road tonight. Check out perhamschools.org and go to the activity stream to find out those. We'll have more Perham wrestling here tonight following the conclusion of this one between Frazee and Grand Rapids.
Great point, Jason. We got 20 seconds remaining here, and now we're going stalling the other way. So Wilkie gets a stall called on him. 6-3, 15 seconds remaining. It's going to take a big turn right here by Hemans. He's running out of time with only 7 seconds remaining. There's the second stall. Now it isn't, but time is not on Hemans' side. So Dusty Wilkie takes that one 6-4 in a good match, and Hemans had an excellent match there as well. So our scoreboard reads 21-6 after that 6-4 win by Dusty Wilkie. We will head into 152, I believe.
It'll be Caden Lehman for the Thunderhawks against Tyler Moe for the Hornets.
So Caden Lehman came in at 7-0, and I believe he had a victory. He's a junior, so 8-0. Tyler Moe is a 9th grader at 152, and Tyler's done a lot of wrestling in the past and a lot of success. So this could be a great match at 152. Again, our scoreboard reads the Thunderhawks 21, the Hornets 6, 0-0 with 1:30 remaining in the first period. And Moe in on a single, wrapped up a little bit. Here comes Moe. Let's see if he can get this takedown. Trying to stretch out, now coming out the back, swims over the top. He's in good position here if he can roll those hips over. But man, what an impressive job by Lehman. Woo! That was I thought for sure. I'm glad I didn't say it because I thought for sure it was going to be 2-0 Moe after that one. And Caden Lehman just did an outstanding job of using his hips and staying in a good position here. So 55 seconds remain, still scoreless, and good match. Here comes a deep deep drag by Lehman. Mo's meeting it, so now it's kind of a battle of who gets the upper hand. We've got legs trapped. Here he comes out, and there's the 2, and he also traps the arms. So let's watch. He is in a deep arm bar, but we have a potentially dangerous right away as Mo kind of curls up and gets into that potentially dangerous position. So 2-0 in favor of Lehman with 30 seconds to go. Looking at a tilt, but really high here is Lehman, but every time I think he's out of position, he seems to find his way back into good position, and now he's back to putting the boots in there a little bit and working that power half series, which I've seen a lot of the Grand Rapids wrestlers do, which has ended up in a stalemate most of the time. So that's the end of the period. 2-0 in favor of Lehman. Great first period. Tons of action for a 2-0 score. Lehman takes down. Mo will cover up 2-0. 21-6 is our score on the scoreboard, and this could be a fun period. Let's see what happens here. Mo pulls the ankle, flattens him back out, and kind of doing some of the same stuff, maybe looking for a cross-face cradle here. He's coming across. He is pinching it together, and it looks like he has the cradle in. Lehman reaches over, grabs the head, which makes Tyler Mo uncomfortable. He lets go of the cradle. Then Lehman grabs the arm and now is getting back points. So what a flurry of action right there. And there's the fall. So what looked like Mo coming out of there ended up with Lehman with a pin. So Caden Lehman goes to 9-0 on the season and runs the score to 27-6 in favor of the Thunderhawks.
Definitely a very happy Thunderhawk squad right now as they're on their way hoping to pick up 2 victories here tonight at the Hive against 2 traditionally rich, powerful wrestling programs.
Yeah, this has been fun to have all of these wrestling programs in the same gym for a night. Brock Barlin coming out at 160 for the Hornets. Brock Barlin is a senior, and he will be taking on Braden Jones, also a senior from the Thunderhawks. This is the one where we had said that he looked really, really good. But here comes Brock Barlin right off the gate with a takedown in the first 20 seconds. And he's going to work looking for more points here. So Brock Barlin looking really quick on his feet. He's looking for back points. Good job by Jones to stay off of his back, but Barlin is really sticking to him right here. So we're looking for back points. I don't see that angle yet, but Jones is curled up. Barlin's kind of wrapped him all up. I expect a stalemate, and there it is. Oh, we went potentially dangerous in that situation, and maybe full Nelson. I believe they called maybe a full Nelson on that one, and so a point in that case for Braden Jones makes it 2-1, minute 13 on the clock, and Brock Barlin goes to cover top. Quick stand up and escape now evens the score at 2-2. 1 minute remaining. So really good. Oh, a shot from a long ways away from Jones, and Brock Barlin's seems like he's been in that position before. He just kind of pushes him away, sneaks around back, and takes the takedown, and now is up 4-2 with 50 seconds remaining in period number 1. So 4-2 Barlin. Interesting match so far. Both wrestlers seem very comfortable in what they want to do, and we'll just see what happens. So here we're back in that same position again. Barlin's up heavy on the shoulders. Jones is kind of curled up. Now he's flattening him out a little bit. So here we go. Let's see if we can get, looks like maybe a tilt in progress here, trying to pull that leg over and that arm, but Jones is having nothing to do with it. They go out of bounds, And it looks like we have a little bit of blood timeout with Jones in there, and with Jones with blood. So kind of a chance for the wrestlers to catch their breath. And we see Coach McEachran out there doing the blood cleanup for many, many years. So while we're at this time, we'll take a word.
Magnitude Sports has delivered over 1,000 broadcasts capturing all fourth quarter comebacks, walk-off home runs, buzzer beaters, 62-point volleyball sets, and double overtime victories. The excitement is on Magnitude Sports. Over 150 teams from 5 states and 2 countries have been featured on Magnitude Sports at both the varsity and sub-varsity levels. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and select your alert preference so you never have to miss that big moment from your favorite area sports team. Find us on Facebook and Twitter too. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
We're back in action here. 12 seconds remaining in the period. We got the blood cleaned up and we're ready to go. And Barlin's on top, looking to ride out, but some real quick action here from Jones. And then Barlin kind of locks him back up with 2 seconds left. And here is our horn. So we'll go Barlin 4, Jones 2 into the second period. And as I look at I didn't have a whole lot of scores, Jason, from Frazee, but it looks like they wrestled West Fargo Cheyenne, were defeated 33-34, wrestled West Central Ashby Brandon Evansville, lost 31-17, and then beat Barnesville 63-9. So 1-2 it looks like on the season, wrestled some pretty formidable opponents.
And that's no surprise when you think about Frazee Wrestling and the teams that they take on and that they're used to facing throughout the years.
So excellent work here. We've got 5-2 in favor of Barlin. Barlin's back in, looking for some more points here. Again, there's the stalemate, and it seems like a good timing on the stalemates tonight by our referee, as it kind of keeps the action moving, and it makes it fun to watch wrestling when they're not just sitting there. And there is 2 for Braden Jones. So now it's 5-4 with a minute remaining, and Jones is working on the top. It's one of those situations, again, you wonder, cut and take down, or do you think you can turn him? And Jones, they seem very comfortable on top as well, kind of sitting on those hips and covering those hips and shoulders. But here Barlin comes back up to his base, and we'll see what happens. So hooking of a leg, flattening back out, 40 seconds remaining. So something has to happen here for Jones. He's got to feel like he's got to turn him soon.
And if memory serves me right, Jones had a lot of momentum in that first period against Jack Fudge in the first match earlier tonight, but Fudge wore him down in the second and third.
Exactly.
So, now we're starting to see Jones go a little bit deeper, and he might be getting into more shape now because it looked like he missed some time due to an injury, and this is only his 4th match of the year.
Right, 15 seconds remaining. It's kind of that now or never here as we're looking for a turn. Otherwise, we're going to end up with a 5-4 win by Barlin, and it's another one of those. There's a stall, but a little too late on the stall call as far as Jones is concerned, as that is that's only the second. Pardon me. So that's going to be maybe a big point to this match. So 5-4, Jones takes down.
And I got a quick wrestling score from a former colleague of mine, an upset tonight. Thief River Falls over Detroit Lakes, 39-34.
Whoa. It'll be interesting to see the box score, so to speak, on that one, as that might be a little bit of shakeup at the top of 8AA.
We'll definitely have to touch on that later on in our next broadcast when Perham takes on Frazee.
For sure. Here we're still 5-4. This could be points for either guy right now, and Barlin does a great job of following him and keeping it 5-4. But we're definitely, man, this is anybody's match right now. Minute 20. We got a blood timeout. Looks like it'll take us a little time to clean that up, Jason, so let's throw it to a sponsor, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. Here we are back at the Hive, and after the blood timeout now, we have 1:20 left on the clock. We've got a 5-4 score, and looks like we still haven't got the blood stopped. So back over to the trainer we go, and this has really been a good match. 27-6 doesn't, I think, kind of lay in where we're at, but it's been good. So I see we're throwing up some of our future dates here there, Jason.
I was trying to get those up there as quick as possible before we got back to action, but here we go again.
We never know how long the blood timeout's going to be, whether it's going to be 30 seconds or 3 seconds. So 5-4 is still the score at 160. Barlin, this has been a good match. And I know it was a good match because I thought it was over in the third when it was only the second. So kind of like those movies that are so good that you just, where did that time go?
Well, your analysis of what should happen in that second period is perfect for the third.
It is. And if it happens again, I'm ready for it. So here we go. This is another scramble position. We got guys rolling, and this is all we could ask for right here. With 40 seconds remaining, it looks like Barlin might be in the better position now as he comes out of the backside. But wait a second. Jones says, not so fast, and hooking up a near side cradle. 25 seconds to go. Jones up 6-5. This is really, really good. Looking at a crossface here. Jones takes enough time to throw the nose plug out of the way, and he keeps on wrestling with 5 seconds to go. It looks like he's going to pull this one out after I thought Barlin really had this one. And so Jones is, like you said, picking up steam as we go, Jason.
Well, I think part of it might be a little bit of stamina, a little bit getting back into season shape there, and he was able to pick a nice victory up as this Thunderhawk squad continues to roll as they lead 30-6 now on Frazee.
So Braden Jones with the 6-5 win. We go into the 160 class, 170, excuse me. We're going to head to 170.
It'll be Tyler Prebick for the Thunderhawks and Max Rue for the Hornets.
Max Rue is a sophomore for the Hornets, and Prebick is a senior for the Thunderhawks. So here we are with 1:45, just starting this match in the first period. Our team score is 30-6. Seems much closer than that, but a good match as we go. And a deep double shot. And again, I remember this guy now from the first one is likes to do the pickup and take down. So Tyler Prebick with the takedown. Rue goes right to a tripod, and we'll see what happens from here. And there is a hard takedown, and this was our Hackle match in the first one, wasn't it? He was up 5-0, had the cradle locked in, was pulling Hackle over, it slipped, and Hackle ends up on top in a pin, and at that point we really thought that was the turning point for the Yellow Jackets. So here we have a technical violation, which gives Rue a point, so 2-1 in favor of Tyler Prebick, a senior, with a 7-2 record now for the Thunderhawks. Prebick drives him down to his base again, kind of works on little crossface there. Rue tries to grab a leg and pull him over. Now goes back to working on that arm and trying to get it over. 30 seconds remain. Rue back to the tripod here and in a good position, but nope, taken back down, and 29 seconds remain. So Prebick doing a good job of riding. Not a lot of points scored right here, and I'm sure Prebick is wanting to get after it. And just as I say that, here goes the back points. So, and he has him fairly tight. 5 seconds remain. So the score clock, friend or enemy right here for the Hornets. And there's the end of the period. So 3 points for Tyler Prebick makes it 5-1. And more blood timeout as we go over. So we'll kick it over to Jason here. So we started the start of the second period with both wrestlers up, with Tyler Prebick with a 5-1 lead. And here we go. So Prebick back in on a shot on a single. Rue's trying to be heavy on the head, but there is another takedown, and it is an illegal one. He had his arm trapped, so there's another point on an illegal takedown, which makes it 5-2, puts both wrestlers back on their feet. And it's sensing Rue is taking exception to that, and Prebick wants to do it again. So let's see where this heads up here, Jason.
So it's starting to get a little testy between these two.
Exactly. So deep shot by Prebick, heavy on the head by Rue, but then Prebick slides off to the side. Rue grabs an ankle, and actually Rue could be in a good spot to score here if he stays heavy on the head and squares up his hips. But here goes Prebick back up, and they both say, let's start this over again. So here we go. 1 minute remains on the clock. This could be quite the end of this match. Collar ties by both guys. "45 seconds remaining as we go here, and there's been some fire. Ooh, there's a deep shot, but Rue does a nice job, and there we go backwards again. So high action when Tyler Prebick is on the mat. We saw it with Hudson Hackle in the first one where he was trying some moves, and then backwards now with this one. So we have another blood timeout. We can stay here, Jason. We'll see how long it takes and what we're doing. But some matches coming up here. I know that for the Hornets, they have Danny Graham, a sophomore, coming up, and we'll see what the rest of the lineup shakes out to be, but some upperclassmen coming for the Hornets. So this was kind of an area, too, that was touch and go for the Yellow Jackets. So it'll be interesting thinking about this match and thinking about how it'll end up with the Yellow Jackets and Hornets as well. And we're back ready to go. 35 seconds on the clock. Another collar tie there by Tyler Prebick. And Rue is kind of meeting his stuff, and there's a lot of edge of the mat stuff going, and a lot of flinging and throwing going.
I was going to say, the intensity between these two guys, you think they may have wrestled each other like 8 times this year already, and trying to settle down, as these two are high action, very intense, and really going at each other like rivals.
Yeah. Tyler Prebick with more blood, and I think with the scrambles and all the action we've had, that there's a lot of head-to-head or whatever going on right here. So Rue doing a great job of staying out of some of those positions where he probably could get thrown, and both of his points, I think, came on technical violations by Prebick. So Prebick looking like he is more on the physical side of wrestling. So 10 seconds remain in this period. Still 5-2. We'll see what happens in the third period. Who knows?
I'll go with that, because I'm not going to make any more predictions. There's Prebick went for the late takedown.
Does, and he again in his physical style is a driving forward style, which ends up with some hard falls on the mat. So still 5-2, both up. Prebick, I think, would want to get back on his shot. He seems to like to get to that double and just drive forward. So it'd be interesting to see if this young man was a football player for Grand Rapids.
I was just going to say, if he was one of the defensive secondary under Bill Kinnan's defense there up in Grand Rapids, that had a very strong year and was one of the top teams in 8-4A as they went undefeated until the playoffs.
Minute 30 to go on the clock. Still 5-2, and I got to give Max Rue some credit here, because I thought with Prebick with that kind of upset defeat in the first round, and just his emotion and the way he wrestles, I really thought maybe he would come out here and try to take it out on Max Rue, but Max Rue is really holding his own. We have 1 minute remaining, and they get into that scramble situation, and every time that it seems like Rue gets in trouble, the side of the mat is his best
I
friend.
was just going to say, because I think Prebick was getting ready for a violent throw there.
55 seconds remain on the clock, and we're still at 5-2, so not a lot of scoring. Here we have a stall call on Green, and so I believe that would be Frazee in this case, and he's kind of just tying up arms and trying not to let Prebick do what Prebick wants to do. So 35 seconds remaining. There goes a deep single. Prebick takes Rue down, makes it 7-2, which is only that 5-point lead. So if Rue can hold on here for the last 20 seconds and not give up any more back points and not give up that 3, he will save a point. But there's a stall call on Rue. It's his second one, so now makes the score 8-2 with 10 seconds remaining. Rue's starting to work to his base, and it looks to me, I shouldn't say so quickly, but it looks to me like we're going to go 8-2 in favor of Tyler Prebick over Max Rue, which takes our score to 33-6 in favor of the Thunderhawks, and we'll head into 182. So again, another close match that separates the scoreboard a little bit, but was really close in all rights, and good job by Max Rue there. We head to 182.
So it's Graham against Weston Danielson here at 182, and Graham's a wrestler that's been familiar to a lot of Frazee fans.
Yes, for sure. Danny Graham, 10th grader. His older brother wrestled last year for the Hornets and went to state, and I believe, if I had my paperwork all straightened out, I believe that he finished 4th at the state. I could be wrong, but he had a strong, 4th at the state, section champ, Brett Graham. I believe he's wrestling in college as well. So, and then he has a younger brother that's wrestling in the JV side tonight. So I have a feeling there's a lot of living room wrestling going on at the Graham household.
Oh, definitely. You can see that with that type of family, and I'm sure that happened quite a bit on the nights.
1 minute and 15 seconds remains in the first period. Graham is wrestling Weston Danielson, who is an 8th grader. He came in at 6-2. I believe he was defeated in the Yellow Jackets match, and so 6-3 would be his record. Close to a takedown for Danny Graham, but both wrestlers go off the mat. And did they give him? No takedown. So scoreboard was goofing me up and probably got you too, Jason. So 0-0 with 55 seconds that remains, and a lot of hand fighting here, and I would think that the Hornets would really like a big victory here from Graham to kind of stop that on the scoreboard. So try for a throw there by Graham. He says, nope, not going upper, I'll go lower body. So down to a double, takes him down. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Graham up 2-0 on our scoreboard. So another good match. Some younger kids. I noticed this last time, Jason, when we were together, that there are a lot of upper weight younger kids. So the future in wrestling in upper weights in central to northern Minnesota is looking pretty good.
Well, I think a lot of that, too, you can also count to that a lot of them are multi-sport athletes, so you see some linemen at the younger age, and they fit well into that higher weight work. And you see, getting in the weight room early has helped, too.
Exactly. Graham's on a good, powerful ride, and there's the end of the first period. Graham leading 2-0. It is Danielson's choice. He defers, I believe, and we have another blood timeout. So the crazy thing with blood timeouts, Jason, is you don't have any, and then you have a lot. So here we go to a commercial.
Magnitude Sports has delivered over 1,000 broadcasts capturing all fourth quarter comebacks, walk-off home runs, buzzer beaters, 62-point volleyball sets, and double overtime victories. The excitement is on Magnitude Sports. Over 150 teams from 5 states and 2 countries have been featured on Magnitude Sports at both the varsity and sub-varsity levels. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and select your alert preference so you never have to miss that big moment from your favorite area sports team. Find us on Facebook and Twitter too. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
After the blood timeout, we come back, and it was actually at a period. So I thought Danielson was going to defer. He decides to take down, and we have a caution on Graham, and Graham's picking that ankle, and so we'll see. So Graham leading 2-0, 15 seconds into the second period, and another good match heading our way, I think, and we'll see. Graham working real heavy on top, rolling the wrist, pulling through, definitely trying to pin that, trap that arm onto Danielson's back. So 30 seconds gone in this second period, rolls it into the arm bar. So again, we hear a lot about take your time and elbow tip up. And at least that's what I heard a lot when my son was wrestling. So here he goes. He kind of hops over the top. There's the official's count. Reverse head. Definitely has 3 points more on the board. Now he's repositioning, and Danielson does a nice job of getting out of there. So 3 points for Graham. He leads 5-0, and he's not settling. He's got the boots in. He's definitely trying to pull that arm back out again. And I would say the way they're wrestling and the way referee Geiser has gone. Oh, here comes Danielson. Traps the leg. Now he's trying to come out, but there Graham goes back on top. So a nice little flurry by Danielson. But again, he gives his arm up in that case. And I know it's kind of hidden, but we're looking closely at that arm and if it's a potentially dangerous or not. But Danielson does go over. 15 seconds remain. Fairly tight position. Definitely gets his 3, but so much for the 3. He went for the pin. So just like we said, this would be a spot for Graham and Danny Graham with a fall that puts the Yellow Jackets. Yeah, the Hornets. That's the first time I've done that. The Hornets back on the board, trailing 33-12.
Nice victory there for Danny Graham and the Hornets. I kind of expected Hugh come out on fire, and he did a good job there to pick up the pin as now they get ready for 195. And it'll be interesting to see what Grand Rapids elects to do here.
Looks like how... So I got Howard Solom for the Hornets, but I'm thinking it's nobody that's on our roster for...
I want to say I heard a Berg, but
that's what I did.
I heard a Joseph Berg, and that's what we'll go with.
Yeah, and I don't see him on our list
and
anywhere.
We're not the only announcers looking to find that. So.
Yeah, we're all scrambling, and before we can look, Solom's got him on his back, and Berg comes sliding out. Now reposition, and this looks not good for Mr. Berg, if that's his name. Solom comes out, and it looks like it's about time, and there it is for another fall, which again, maybe a little too late, but maybe for the Hornets coming into the next match, it gives them a little momentum. So 33-18 our score goes. Quick fall there for Howard Solom, a senior. Nice looking athlete as well coming out there. So we're down to the couple matches here at 2:20. We're going to try to catch who's coming out.
It's Byron Krapinski for Frazee, and I heard Clayton Danielson, I believe I heard.
Yeah, and I
Grand Rapids.
I have a Weston Danielson, but not a Clayton Danielson. So we'll go with Danielson, then we know we're right.
Yeah, let's just be safe with that.
Okay, and Kapinski is a junior at 220, and Danielson, if this is the Danielson, is an 8th grader with a 6-2 record. So 30 seconds in, and another victory here for the Hornets, and the score looks a lot better than it did just 3 matches ago.
Oh, exactly, and you know what we want. We're wondering about the names, and we try what we can do. And the Minnesota State High School League website's a little different this year, so it's tougher to get rosters. So we like to thank the school secretaries for their help that they give us, the administrative assistants, with the activities departments and thank them for all the help that they give us in getting these names as we try to do our best as I can to announce the names.
That is for sure. And even when we think we have it right, there's always a change that happens. So thanks for bearing with us. And if we announce somebody incorrectly, we apologize right off the bat. And there's a takedown for Kopinski. So takedown, 30 seconds to go here. Definitely working on some points. He's kind of rolling that wrist under, trying to tilt him over a little bit, get some back points. And Kopinski's doing a good job. He's kind of got him all tied up like a pretzel right now. And it looks to me like Danielson's trying to sneak off the mat, and we had a 1 count there. There's 2. And off the mat, so I believe this is 2, and it is. 2-point near fall, so 4-0 as I'm climbing around the camera and trying to get a better angle of what we're looking at. And I forget I have a monitor right in front of me that I could have saw the whole thing. So welcome to the world of TV.
Yeah, you'll get used to that, Lance, as we move along, as with our basketball and wrestling broadcasts that we have coming up down along the line.
Yeah, I'm excited to do those with you as well, Jason. 3 seconds remaining in the period. 4-0 score for Byron Kopinski over Danielson. And again, we had Clayton announced, and I have Weston on my sheet, so we're hoping it's one of the two. We know it's a Danielson. And now we're into another blood timeout, so I think I'll throw it over to Jason for a commercial. All right, we're back here live from the Hive. Start of the second period. Kopinski's down, and he's down on the scoreboard as well, 4-0. So nice hard ride here for Byron Kopinski over Danielson, and definitely Kopinski is looking for some back points here and tightening up that score. And there he looked like he was rolling him over for a second. Danielson does a good job. He goes to the half, but Danielson's just kind of kicking out of everything. So good job by Danielson. If this is the 8th grade Danielson, this is a pretty good job against a junior in Byron Kopinski. But here he goes. He rolls. He does the patented roll. They gave him 2. Not any back points on there. Kopinski goes down, so now it's 4-2 with a minute remaining in the second. So just when I started thinking back points and bonus points for AZ, here comes young Mr. Danielson and does a great job of getting the reversal. 57 seconds on the clock, Jason.
It's kind of entertaining watching Lance go back and forth up here, just to give you a little bit of visual. He's got the longer cord, so he's got more room to move. But this has been an exciting little match here at the end as we're coming into 2:20 in the second period. And like you said, it's kind of gone back and forth.
Yeah, nice match. 4-2 in favor of Kopinski, and you're lucky that none of my kids are wrestling, Jason, or I would be outstretching this walking around. This cord is not a long enough leash for me if my kids were out on the mat. So here comes Kopinski up to his base and looking, and then Danielson returns him nicely. I think the official was looking for a clasp down there and must have not saw what he was looking for. So 25 seconds remain in the period, second period. Kopinski would definitely like to get this escape or reversal. 4-2. Danielson looks really tough on top. Actually quite impressive here, because I thought Kopinski would probably get out a little easier.
I'm going to say, Lance, to give you a shut on this walkway, I think there's been a lot of wrestling mom and dads that have got their miles in up here, as it now is a nice move there to get it 6-2.
And just like we said there, Jason, it's those last second points are sometimes really deflating for the opposition. So with that, Kopinski takes a 6-2 lead into the third period, and both wrestlers on their feet. I would guess that Kopinski's thinking a quick takedown and maybe to your back, and we get some bonus points and tighten up that score a little bit as going into the 285-pound match. But a little a little too late there for the Hornets, but certainly a valiant effort, and that's the beautiful thing of wrestling is even if your team's out of it, you're still in it individually. So one of those great parts of this sport, and as we watch another takedown by Kopinski.
Well, this is going to be unique when we go into 285 to see these two guys now not have to worry about the team score in a way and just kind of go at it and see what kind of match they wrestle head-to-head that way compared to what we saw last time where one was trying to wrestle to prevent the points and the other one was trying to secure that pin.
And it might be one of the first time, Jason, that we're not waiting for the 285 to decide what the final score is going to, or the win or loss is going to be. So 8-2, 50 seconds remaining. Looks like we have a stall on green, which I believe is Frazee. And so just kind of the official telling Kopinski, you just don't sit on top. You got to work too, even though you're ahead 8-6. And 45 seconds remaining. Kopinski's got the arm trapped underneath. Looks like he's trying to pull it out. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a stall on Danielson if he just kind of grabs the arms underneath and tucks them under, because there's not much Kopinski's going to be able to do there. Now he gets up, does a roll. Kopinski does a great job of falling, now traps the arm right on the edge of the mat again, and then the arm slips. We have 20 seconds remaining. Kopinski's now in full action, but they go off the side of the mat with 15 seconds to go. So again, we had the first match of the night that the Thunderhawks came out and with a victory and had to come and wrestle again. And we talked about the difference now with Frazee. Can they get a roll and win the next two and come in on a roll, or even though they lost, or what happens in that dynamic of the triangular? So 5 seconds. Looks like it's going to be an 8-2 decision. No. Oh, I thought we were going to see some back points. So the final score on this one is 8-2 in favor of Byron Kopinski from Frazee, which makes our score 33-21 heading into 285.
And just a reminder, our next bout, which will feature Perham and Frazee, we will start a new stream. So make sure to keep an eye on that, as we will start a new stream for that next match between Perham and Frazee. So it's Noah Brendan for Grand Rapids.
Noah Brendan came in 1-1. And if we go back to our previous broadcast, Jason, Noah Brendan won the duel for the Thunderhawks, but with a pin in the second period. Came in, he's a senior with a 1-1 record, and he is wrestling a ninth grader, Xander Kohler. So again, we talked about younger wrestlers up at these weight levels, and here's another one from Frazee. 30 seconds now gone on the clock, and we're at 0-0, and kind of the way it started out the last heavyweight or 285 match with Brendan, and then we got some action going. So
when you look at who the Hornets lost last year, Luke Tweeten as a state runner-up and a section champ, it's tough to fill those shoes there at this late in the order.
Yep, that's for sure. Definitely graduated some heavy hitters from Frazee last year when you talked about Brett Graham and Luke Tweeten and Seth Isola and Lucas Volkstad and some of those guys that they counted on points now. If Frazee would happen to get a win here, that's the difference, kind of those two or three guys in maybe the win or the loss. 45 seconds remain here, 285. It's 0-0, and you can see on our scoreboard the Thunderhawks are ahead, 33-21. And this has been an entertaining match. And again, I thank you guys for joining in, and we're glad to bring this to you. We're doing the best we can. This is the third triangular for myself and the second for Jason and I, and we look forward to bringing you more in the future, and we thank Magnitude Sports for making this possible, that we are able to do this.
And along with that, we got to thank the Perham Activities Department and the school for allowing Magnitude Sports to help cover these broadcasts and allowing us to help them out with these broadcasts here from the Hive tonight.
5 seconds remains in the period. So it looks like we're going to go 0-0 into the second period. And again, it's that choice at 285 that you kind of wonder if one will go down or if they'll go both up and look for the big throw. So it's Frazie's choice. They defer, and we look. Mr. Brennan looks over at his coaches and they say down, let's try to get that first point, or maybe work on that roll and see if you can get a reversal. So pick of an ankle there for Xander Kohler.
I was going to lead to another question here. I was going to have freelance. You might see at this time of the year different things from different times, because early in the season you got to work on different things in different situations as you want to get ready for that section run.
And it might come down to especially these 285 pounders where you need that escape in overtime to get the victory, or you may need so yeah, definitely working on maybe spots you're not comfortable, especially when the match is wrapped up already. Kind of gives you a chance to do that. So reversal there for Brennan, and it's interesting. He's got the boots in. He likes to ride, so pretty nimble on his feet for a 285 pounder. Kind of working on that power half with a minute to go, and he's getting high, and there's a reversal for Xander Kohler. So a nice reversal when it looked like we were working on back points for Brennan. So Xander Kohler holding his own for a freshman and really looking good here for the Hornets.
These look like two guys that definitely held their own on the, I'd say, offensive, defensive line when it comes to pushing opponents around.
Exactly. And it's a good sport to combine with football, as you do a lot of the same motion and being able to be in your base and make athletic moves. So it is a good combo. So now Mr. Kohler's doing kind of the same thing that Brennan was doing to him, and Brennan tried to reverse the tables. So I think they're well matched here. We'll see what happens. There's 10 seconds remaining. It'd be awesome to go 2-2 into the third and see what happens, as it will be Xander Kohler's choice at that point, and there's the end of the period. So 2-2, Kohler's choice. We'll see what they do, if they go both up or if he goes down or if he thinks he can get out. And he looks to the coaches, and I'm pretty impressed for that young man. The coaches kind of said, it's up to you, and he goes, I'm going down. So let's see if he can get out here, or what pressure is put on, or how Brennan feels at the top. So there's a roll, boom, just like that. Xander Kohler spins, gets his reversal, leads 4-2 with 15 seconds gone, and that really brought a rise from the Hornet crowd over here, who's sitting directly to my right underneath me. We have a minute 30 to go. Xander Kohler, a 9th grader, is now just gotten reversed, and he is in a bad position right now as Brennan traps that arm and now is just kind of putting his weight on him, and all that work by young Xander Kohler, who looked great, one move and ends in a pin. So that brings our score, and congratulations to Noah Brennan on a second win for tonight. And that brings our final score to 39-21 in favor of the Thunderhawks.
That's the magic number for the Thunderhawks tonight. Both matches, they pick up 39 team points, and they pick up 2 victories, defeating Perham 39-37, and now they take care of business over Frazee 39-21.
Which leads us... We'll probably take a couple commercials here. We'll thank our sponsors, and we'll come back for a post-game wrap-up. We'll maybe lead a little bit into what we think we might see in Frazee and Perham, and then we will start that next stream, like you said, Jason, and we'll pick up our nightcap in the Battle of the Bees of Frazee and
the Yellow Jackets.
The Yellow Jackets.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
Well, welcome back to the Hive. Match 2 complete, and a victory for the Thunderhawks as they make it 2 in a row tonight and 10 in a row on the season as they move to 10-0 with the victory tonight over Perham and Frazee. And Lance, this Grand Rapids team, very seasoned, came in strong and kind of had a point to prove, as we talked about. They wanted to come, 2.5-hour drive, you want to come away with 2 wins.
That's what I was just going to say, Jason. I would imagine the drive home is going to be much, much sweeter when you walk away 2-0 against 2 perennial powers in Central Minnesota. I know, like you said, Grand Rapids has been right there in 7 AA, and that's a good section up there as well. So 10-0 on the season. I was really impressed with the strength of their kids and their physicality as we went through the lineup and watched them from top to bottom. There's not that really big gap where you can say, hey, we're going to make a run on them at this place, which I think if we think about Yellow Jacket teams in the past and Hornet teams in the past, there's never been that time where you say, hey, we're going to make a run right here. And it seemed like the Thunderhawks kind of had that going for them.
Well, you always talk about, remember those teams the last few years during the Perham run, you always looked at the schedule, you knew here's 6, here's 6, here's 6. So if you're trying to match up against that, you were struggling a little bit. Now you look at this Grand Rapids team, you may not get the 6 points that you're seeing, but you're going to get the 3s, and they're not going to let that big run as these teams are try to get on them. And you did see tonight, they had the momentum, they got the stop, and then when they needed to, the Noah Brendan at heavyweight got the big win when they needed to.
Exactly. And so it's going to be fun. What I like most about seeing new teams, Jason, is now we can watch them for the rest of the year. If you're a Perham fan, a Frazee fan, you've now seen the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks, so you kind of follow along and go, yep, I remember that kid. Yep, I've seen that kid wrestle. So opening this up and seeing different teams has kind of opened up my eyes to watch other teams throughout the year. And if I had to go and look at Frazee, I really think they battled tonight. And I go back to 120 at Bailey Peichel, who was taking on Justin Job, who was rated 6th in the state in AA, and Peichel kind of had his number throughout the whole match.
I agree with you there, and there's a lot of other ones. You look at the Nagels, they come through as well. Hemans, as you expected. Daniel Graham with the nice victory that you would expect to see from those type of guys, the ones that have been in the program for a while, that have been there for a while, and they've wrestled in that spot. Now, if you're Fraser, you need a couple other guys to kind of make the next step for that program, and they get a good chance here to go right at it against a Perham team in a rivalry match, which is different now because they're not going to have the same atmosphere we're used to when we have this rivalry match between Perham and Frazee.
I remember many battles over at Frazee where it was standing room only, and you were lucky to get into the gym to watch them wrestle.
Well, I remember my first experience as a sports reporter here in Perham was going to cover, one of my first experiences was going to cover Perham Frazee wrestling in Frazee. I thought I was getting there early before the JV match because I knew I was told you need to get there early. I couldn't find a place to park, and I was barely able to find, if I wasn't with the press, I wasn't going to be able to find a spot on the side of the mat. And it was that crazy and that much fun in the little gym in Frazee, which now is being occupied right now tonight by the Frazee Hornets and the Perham Yellow Jacket boys basketball team.
Right. So
and we have a little update on that one right now with about 7 to go in the first half. Perham leads that one by 7, 19-12 over there in Frazee.
Yeah, so a great night for surrounding communities to battle each other, not only in wrestling, but basketball, boys basketball. And it's just it's so fun when you have neighboring towns that are competitive for so long.
Well, and another thing that you touched on a little bit about taking a look at these other teams that you face, like now you're going to look at the standings and see how Grand Rapids is doing and see how they're doing. What it's going to help, you're like, hey, we're And it comes to those negotiations when it comes to seedings. I know a lot of computers now take that over, but hey, I just beat a guy that was ranked 7th here, or just won Section 7 AA. That's going to help me down the road. Or we face this 7 AA power that won their section. That's going to help us when we have the negotiations where we're supposed to be, perhaps for seeding.
Exactly, and it's just like I said. The one thing I guess sometimes we miss out on. Saturday tournaments and the bigger tournaments, and you bring 10, 15 schools into one building and that atmosphere of hyped up. But the one thing that I think has been really fun is watching new rivalries develop that might not have happened if COVID wouldn't have hit. I don't think we would have saw Grand Rapids come down today to wrestle us. I look in the future, and we'll talk more about Perham in the future here, but we're going to see Frazee, but Grand Rapids coming down, great opponent. Looks like for years to come here, they're kind of setting themselves up for a run. Maybe this is something that can last, so when the gym does open up and people have watched it on Magnitude Sports, they go, hey, we got to go watch Grand Rapids next year when they're in Perham.
Well, you talk about little rivalries that may have just started. Look at Max Rue and I believe it was Tyler Prebeck. They might have started a little rivalry between themselves.
Exactly. That was a high-flying one for sure. So, as we wrap up here, sometimes the scoreboard is a little deceiving in wrestling. I didn't really think it was a 39-21 match. It never seemed like the Hornets were that far out of it. And hats off to Coach Nagel and his staff. They came ready to wrestle, and it just set us up for a real fun one coming up in the nightcap.
I was just going to say, you led into it perfectly. We're going to have a rivalry battle, which always adds the intensity, and that just ups it up a little bit. And when you see, if you're a Perham wrestler and you see the Hornet on the other side, you get amped a little bit, I guess. And if you're a Hornet wrestler and you see the Yellow Jacket on the other side, you're definitely going to get amped.
Right, and as we close, I think it'll be a few minutes here because the way it looks is they're going to try to finish up the JV matches in front of us, and they're working hard on the left-hand side of us, and I think they'll finish those up. I would guess they're almost going to slide the mat, and we may turn the lights off, and the rivalry may continue under the spotlight. So that's what it looks like they're setting up to do, is to pull those chairs back. So I'm excited, Jason. We'll be back in a few minutes. So you'll see the stream start up here in probably 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll be back on when they're ready to start, and we'll preview the upcoming match between the Frazee Hornets and the Perham Yellow Jackets.
The proceeding has been a presentation of the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and to order a DVD copy of this broadcast, simply visit msportsnet.com/DVD.